Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning on this Friday.
Wow. What is this? It's an attempt to distract me with your attire? I don't know. God.
I think I look rather debonair.
Do you?
Yep.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's nice.
If you say so
You
yourself.
mixed it up a little today, too.
I mixed it up a little bit, but not a lot.
I like
so,
it.
Hey, Jenny, you look nice also.
Yeah. So, my friend Terrell Owens is coming in a little later. Can't wait for
You
that.
have no friends.
I don't have that friend.
Even Ernestine is
now
not your friend anymore.
That is true until tomorrow. We're gonna make up tomorrow.
Good.
That's it. That's our plan.
Take her somewhere nice.
All it take you a whole week?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm working. I'm obsessed with this. I'm Brady-esque on this show.
You acted up on Sunday.
Yeah.
You should have immediately.
Well, you can't do it on Monday. It's a big day for us.
should have made up after the game.
Wednesday, maybe tonight. Maybe
It's always
tonight.
a big day.
I don't know. But,
Boy.
you know, Vegas has already booked the odds now as it's 10-1 against whether Terrell Owens will even speak to me today before we go on TV. Then he'll speak to me.
Yeah.
Will he even say hello?
Let's
Probably
hope
not.
so. He's going to be
caused
here.
a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned it. Terrell Owens will
Yep.
be here later.
Yep.
But also on today's show, apparently LeBron is still the king in the NBA.
Yeah, that's debatable.
something we're going to get
Still.
to.
Yeah.
Skip has gotten into a little Twitter spat with Jamal Adams.
Always something.
And we're going to need you
Leave
to respond
people alone.
later. T.O. later. But first, guys, let's start in the NFL. We're just over a week away from the Super Bowl featuring the Patriots and Rams, but not the Saints. A lot of people, including everyone in New Orleans, feels the non-pass interference call late in the NFC Championship game cost them a trip to Atlanta. Commissioner Goodell has not spoken out about it yet, and that didn't sit well with Saints tight end Benjamin Watson, who called out Goodell on Twitter yesterday. He wrote this: Commissioner Goodell, we all realize that football is an imperfect game, played, coached, and officiated by imperfect people. What occurred last Sunday in New Orleans, though, was outside of that expected and accepted norm. Your continued silence on this matter is unbecoming of the position you hold, detrimental to the integrity of the game, and disrespectful and dismissive to football fans everywhere. From the locker room to Park Avenue, accountability is what makes our league great. Lead by example. We are waiting. Shannon, do you agree with Watson's criticism?
We are waiting for your response.
No, I do not. The person that should respond, and he responded to Sean Payton, is Al Rivion. Who's the head of NFL officiating. Now, if you read a statement, if you could put that back up on the can you put that back up on the screen?
Okay.
And look how he starts off. He said what? Read that again, Jenny. I can't read
Goodell?
what he wrote. He said something about imperfect game.
Okay. We all realize that football is an imperfect game, played, coached, and officiated by imperfect
Boom,
people.
I don't read nothing else. So if it's imperfect, you cannot expect perfection on every single play. The guy, Al Rivion, told Sean Payton after the game, he said, Sean, we blew it. We missed it. He said, not only was it
Quick point of order. How do we know that?
Okay.
How do we know that?
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. Sean Payton said he talked to Al Rivion.
Riveron. Yep.
He said, Sean, we missed it.
Yep.
He said, not only was it pass interference, it was helmet to helmet. Al Rivion should give us an impromptu. He should come out and say, guys, we missed it. Now, Skip, you do know this. In order for them to get this game, these three guys, whether it was the back judge, the field judge, or the sideline judge, there are three of the highest rated officials in the NFL. That's how you get to do an NFC Championship game.
Sure.
So to think that these was some bull jive guys, this is not some run-of-the-mill guys. In order to get to this position, you had to do an extremely well job.
Which made this all the more shocking. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yep.
But even though that's the case, we've seen some of the greatest athletes that perform at the highest level make mistakes. He made a mistake, Skip. Whatever reason. And to think that this is some integrity, see what the Saints players and fans want is the outcome to be different. The outcome is never going to be different. Skip, you know, you and I get into it. We agree on this, is that when the last 2-minute report comes out and it says, well, the guy traveled or the guy committed the foul. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Are you going to change the outcome? Because if you're not going to change the outcome, that does me no good. All you do is make me more upset, telling me what I already knew. that the guy missed the call. And I get it. And, you know, I used to get upset, you know, and think about it, and then I realized, I said, hold on, Shannon. You actually think this guy know more than when I go out there and drop the pass? Do you actually think I dropped the pass on purpose? Do you actually think the guy missed the play on purpose? Because that's what they're starting to insinuate. Miss Benson in her letter, and he and Ben Watson in his letter.
Integrity.
You're starting to insinuate that this game is not on the up and up. Not this game. This game, the game that you played in, is not on the up and up. You're saying it seems like it wasn't on the up and up because you didn't get the outcome you wanted. You know, Skip, we've had this discussion before. And a lot of people say, well, the commissioner needs to get out of the punishment business, and they don't understand investigations. And they need to have an independent arbitrator. But what you're starting to see, if you have an independent arbitrator and the player doesn't get suspended or the punishment isn't doled out that the fans think is necessary, Commissioner Goodell, you need to speak on this. Wow, you remove Commissioner Goodell. It's supposed to be independent. You remove Commissioner Goodell. This is Al Riveron. This is not the commissioner. Commissioner was in Kansas City. Skip, what is he going to say? What could he possibly say? Other than having them play the last 148 or 150, playing that over, what could Commissioner say to make it better for Ben Watson and the New Orleans Saints? What could he possibly say to make it better for the fans of New Orleans? Absolutely nothing. This was not a side job. That guy didn't wake up and say, like, you know what? Hey, Rams going to the Super Bowl today. And if it call come down to it, I'm going to make the call that's going to send them there. Skip, I don't believe that. I don't believe this is a Tim Donaghy. I don't believe this was a rogue official. He blew the call. Ben Watson started off, said it's an imperfect game, coached and played by imperfect people and imperfect officials. But then how do you get perfection when you're dealing with imperfections? How?
Tell me when it's my turn. Are you done?
Skip, I just want them to, the longer you drag this out, the longer the healing process.
You're right.
Because the outcome that you hope for and that you wish for is never going to happen.
So, do you want to address this point about did the NFL ever make any statement, any way, shape, or form about this? Because all I know is that right after the game, just minutes after the game, Sean Payton took the interview stand and he volunteered that he had heard from the league office and that he had had time to think about it and then call Al Riveron back just to go over a couple of more details on how badly the call was missed.
Right.
So all I know, unless I missed this, I never saw a statement from Al Riveron.
Right.
Okay.
He's the one that should comment.
I only heard Sean Payton volunteer to the media because he was so angry that he probably,
and rightfully so,
he probably broke a confidence that he probably shouldn't have broken. I'm sure the commissioner was not pleased with Sean Payton for volunteering that to the media, right? Because that's the only quote-unquote statement we have from the league office came through the lips of Sean Payton in anger, right? So I'm pretty sure he was telling the truth. I'm going to take that to heart and to my bank.
So will I.
Okay, now back to this. I loved it that Benjamin Watson made this statement. I want to thank him for at least turning up the heat on a Roger Goodell and on a National Football League over what I still consider to this moment, how many days later? 4 days later, a travesty, an all-time robbery. It was simply 5 days. It was simply the worst blown call in the history of sports, given the magnitude that it sent, in my estimation, this is my personal 2 cents on this, but I think most of the world shares this. It sent the wrong team to the Super Bowl. So let's keep in perspective. Do you know Benjamin Watson? I don't know if you crossed over with him a little bit.
Okay.
He is a highly respected voice in this league. He was on the New England Patriot teams in 04 and 07 that went to the Super Bowl, won one and obviously lost the one to the Giants. So he has that credibility going, and he's been in the league low these many years. He is now, I assume he had announced his retirement. I assume he's going to stand by that. But just for those who don't know, he has been powerfully outspoken about his spiritual faith, and he's been powerfully outspoken, a prominent voice in race relations in this country, because he wrote a book 3 years ago, which I read, called Under Our Skin, Getting Real About Race and Getting Free from the Fears and Frustrations That Divide Us. It was well done. He is an eloquent voice, eloquent writer and speaker.
Hasn't he won Walter Payton Man of the Year?
He was a finalist for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. So, again, we have credibility here to start with. So I appreciate the fact that he chose to do this.
Yes.
Now, back to our commissioner. Roger Goodell has obviously done a great job of running the most successful league in our country. So let's keep that in perspective. But he has mostly been reactive instead of proactive. On conflict, on controversy, he reacts instead of jumps out ahead of it, usually. And in this case, to your point, this was so egregious that I believe he just stayed in his quote-unquote ivory tower on this one, because I think nobody disagrees that it was the worst call ever.
Yes.
So I don't know exactly what he could have said given his track record as the commissioner, because if he just flat out comes out and apologizes to New Orleans Saints fans, he disqualifies his Super Bowl team and makes the Rams feel like an illegitimate Super Bowl team. I want to be very clear on this. I still believe the Rams are a worthy Super Bowl team, because on paper right now, I can show you they look better on paper than the New England Patriots, right? So again, am I thinking this is a fraudulent Super Bowl? I do not. I just believe the Saints would have won that game if that flag had been thrown by any one of 4 or 5 referees in the vicinity of what we all agree was as outrageous an uncalled pass interference as we've ever seen. So the magnitude of it, I'm sure the commissioner thought it would lose steam over these 5 days, and it's gaining steam. I'm sure the commissioner thought it would blow over, and it is blowing up. It seems to get bigger by the day, and now fuel to the fire has been added by Benjamin Watson. So I appreciate turning up the heat on the commissioner. If we could do, what would Adam Silver have done? He has a different management style than Roger Goodell, right? Adam Silver is more fan-friendly to me and a little more player-friendly. So I believe Adam Silver would have tried to do some sort of statement.
What's he going to say?
You could say that you could use the human error as part of our game, and it was unfortunate that a great game was marred by an obviously blown call.
So you need the commissioner to tell you that, even though you already know that.
It's just because people who love pro football want the leader of pro football to put this in some perspective, just something they can hang on to, because right now it looks like the league is running and hiding from this. Let me ask you a question. Am I right?
It does.
Yeah.
Look, Kyle, before you go any further, when Tuck rule happened, what did Paul Tagliabue say?
Well, I know what Mike Pereira did. He now works for Fox. He went on a national media tour over the next 3 days to explain how that the Tuck rule was correctly called. I was outraged, but Mike did a beautiful job of.
I didn't say Mike Pereira, who's the head of officiating.
But he was the Al Riveron at that time.
So it wasn't Paul Tagliabue. So if Al Riveron and that's what I'm saying, Al Riveron, who's the head of officiating, should do what they're asking the commissioner to do.
But just remember, it was the flip of this, because there was lots of gray area in the Tuck rule, and Mike Pereira successfully convinced a majority of the media, because I was all over this story, and I became one of the lone outcasts here. You know, the last line I kept saying, wait a second.
He was so convincing that they changed the rule. That's how convincing he was.
No,
because
that's not true.
Skip.
No.
Skip.
He was told, wait! Time out. Wrong. I was in the middle of this, and I was the last line of defense on this, and I kept saying, that's not right, because the Tuck rule, and they didn't change the Tuck rule. They kept it in.
Skip, you and I both know Tom Brady was not throwing the ball. He had brought the ball down.
Listen, by the end of that week, nobody thought that. Everybody, Mike Pereira was eloquent and convincing for that whole week. He was everywhere.
Only the Saints fans believe, not the Saints, excuse me, only the Patriots fans believe that wasn't a fumble. Only the Patriots fans.
Okay, but the Tuck rule, the problem was Tom had finished tucking. Like he did his pump fake.
And brought the ball back.
If the ball comes out, if you start to throw it and then at the last second you say, ooh, ooh, then it's obviously an incomplete pass. It goes in the ground, right? That's not a fumble.
He faked it,
okay,
and he brought the ball back to his
chest. So Mike Pereira was arguing that once you do this, once you pump fake and bring the ball back to a set position, that now you can't fumble. And I'm like, then why wouldn't any quarterback at the snap just take it and go like that?
Exactly.
Then you could never fumble, right?
Exactly.
Okay, well, that was to me the spin on that rule.
Exactly.
But the rule stayed. The rule stayed in place, but it never has come into play because it was, to me, a far-fetched interpretation of that rule.
Exactly. So, in other words, if Al Riveron were to come on, he doesn't have to come on our show, but just go out and says, okay, the guy blew the call. We know everybody saw what they saw. It was pass interference, and it was helmet-to-helmet contact. A flag should have been thrown, and it should be first down, New Orleans.
Okay, just remember the magnitude of this. Let's do the example of Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Fame tight end. Let's just say, and let's do the worst-case scenario. Let's say you're playing in your first Super Bowl.
Yes.
Or no, let's go to your last one.
Okay.
Let's go to now you're on the map as of pretty much. I'm not going to say you're a cinch Hall of Famer, but you have Hall of Fame potential at that point. Okay. And your third Super Bowl would be against the Giants. Let's say it became a close game, and in the final seconds of the game, you're down, 5 points.
Correct.
And all of a sudden, who was throwing Trent Dilfer? Okay, so let's say Trent Dilfer, for once in his life, he threw a beautiful pass, and Shannon Sharpe is wide open, 2 yards deep in the end zone, and it's a blown coverage, and it hits you right in the hands, and you drop it. Well, then the whole world.
Smith.
Okay, but that didn't exactly decide that game because they were already down, right?
Right.
Okay, so
that would have put them up, though, right? I think so. That would put them up or tied the game.
But again, they fell after that. They fell pretty significantly behind, and then they had a late touchdown that made it closer than it was because it was 35-31, I believe. But again, they fell behind 35-24, so it didn't feel like that was. But it was a turning point. It just didn't happen on the final play of the game. What if this is the final play of the game?
Yes.
And all of a sudden, the world says, "Oh my God, Shannon Sharpe cost the Baltimore Ravens a Super Bowl." Well, that's the equivalent of what's going on here because it was the flashpoint moment, 1:48 left, where it's going to be first and goal at the 5, and clearly, unless they fumble or do something incredibly stupid, they're going to run the clock down to 15 seconds and kick a field goal, or maybe just not just
and at that
ram it
point,
in the end zone.
If they throw the flag, if the odds are if they throw the flag there, the Saints have a 98% chance of winning if the call is made.
Okay, all right, 98% chance. So most of the world believes Saints should have been in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So that's why the magnitude of this is unlike anything we've ever seen in the National Football League. And it is America's slightly most favorite sport, right?
Yes.
And in the end,
I don't think it's slight.
Okay, well, again, I think the NBA is gaining, and baseball's sort of rebounded. It
like
feels
this,
like.
yep.
Yeah, there's nothing like this, and there's nothing like this game. So all of a sudden, anything anybody says from the National Football League is going to disqualify the Rams, right?
Yeah.
Because if you acknowledge it, even if Al Riveron goes on a national tour and tries to put it in perspective, yes, we missed this, or even if he tries to say, but we also missed the face mask call, which came X plays earlier, then it still disqualifies the Rams because we all know that the call that had the most impact was the one with 1:48 left, right?
Yes.
So, again, will Benjamin Watson's statement have any impact? No, but actually it's serving the same purpose as an apology from Roger Goodell because a respected voice is saying, say something, and it just puts in perspective that he said nothing. But at least it makes people feel good that a respected NFL voice is saying, 5 days later, they have said nothing about this.
I mean, Troy. I guess listening to the replay of the game, Troy Aikman said it was an egregious call. Troy said they missed it.
Sure.
For lack of a better word, they just missed it.
Yeah.
And they did. I saw it in real time, Skip. I didn't need for the replay. I tweeted at the time. That was a penalty.
Yeah.
And it basically cost them the game. But
and just remember this. Benjamin Watson gets the magnitude of this as far as lives go. Lives get changed. Your life got changed because you won 3 Super Bowls.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's just do the reverse hypothetical. What if you had no Super Bowl rings?
I'm not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. You're probably not.
No.
Would you have gotten your CBS TV job? Maybe.
Maybe.
Because you were
outspoken,
outspoken and a great talker.
Yeah.
So maybe, but your cachet would have been a lot less, right?
Different.
Okay, there's something about one ring, let alone 3 rings, that changes everything.
Yes, it does.
So a whole bunch of players on the Saints, the odds are they're never going to win a ring. Those are the odds. Yeah. So he gets that legacies got changed. Drew Brees' legacy took a hit because you could say, oh, he broke through one time in 2009 and won 1 Super Bowl, but if he won another one, if he beat Tom Brady in this Super Bowl.
Well, he had the great, but here's the thing with Drew. Drew had the greatest run of any quarterback in NFL history to win the Super Bowl because he beat Kurt Warner, who was a 2-time MVP.
He did.
He beat Brett Favre, who was a 3-time MVP. And he beat Peyton Manning, who was a 4-time MVP.
Okay, but wouldn't that be the final feather in that cap?
Yeah, beating Brady. But, Skip, I think you agree. You and I both, I think you agree with me on this. There's nothing that Commissioner Goodell could say that's going to ease the hurt and pain that's emanating from the Saints locker room or from the New Orleans or the state of Louisiana.
Okay. Unless you have some Winston Churchill in you and you're such you're such a powerful speaker that you can figure a way to put this in some perspective that everybody says, okay, let's let go of this because our leader said we should keep it in this perspective. There's some way to do that,
I don't know.
But it's never been his strength to me. That's not his strength as a leader. He is going to get asked about this next Wednesday in Atlanta when he does his annual State of the Union. I think it's Wednesday. It was Wednesday. I think they moved it up last year.
Okay.
Whatever. But I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday last year.
He's going to get asked on multiple occasions.
Okay. And again, he will obviously have thought through an answer, and I'm sure the answer will be, we are going to re-examine the use of instant replay at our next competition committee meeting.
Yes.
You know, it'll be something like that. But trust me, he's not going to apologize to Saints fans because he can't.
You were covering the MLB at the time. Who was it Faye Vincent or Boogie Cousins who was in charge of MLB when Donnie Derkinger blew that call? The Royals Cards game.
I can't remember back. Let's see, that was
85.
85. I was there. It was in Kansas
So I can't, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember him speaking. I don't remember the commissioner saying anything that they blew the call because they did. Everybody saw it. He was out. He wasn't safe. He was out. It happens. It's human. I mean, you drop a pass. I mean, that's like saying, you know, and Skip, I did. It happened to me, and it happened in the second quarter. In 1991, I dropped a touchdown against the Oakland Raiders in the south end zone. Had we won that game, we would have had home field throughout the playoffs.
Okay.
Instead, it sent us to Buffalo, and where we lost 10-7.
Okay.
To this day, that's still my most painful NFL memory of all the things that, and I've had some great.
Yet, I don't remember that. I was not aware that happened because I didn't really care that much.
Yes.
That didn't have national reverberations.
No.
Denver, in Bronco Nation, sure, they know that. They knew it then.
I don't even think they remember it.
You don't think so?
No.
Because they forgave and forgot pretty fast.
Yeah,
right?
I think, you know, some of the things that I've been able to do
since
1991. But I have to, you know what, Skip? Of all the people that are hurt, all the Saints fans, all the Saints players, nobody is in more pain than that gentleman that missed that call.
Well, we don't even know who that gentleman is. Faceless, nameless. I'm not sure who missed it exactly.
That's how they.
I'm not even sure which gentleman.
There's enough people on the field that either the back judge, the side judge, or the field judge could have made the call.
Okay. Remember what happened middle of this year? There was one NFL referee who blew a call and he got fired over it. Remember that?
It was the Cleveland-San Diego game. The right tackle left early. Phillip Rivers throws a touchdown. It was so egregious.
It was egregious. Okay.
I mean, Skip, the dude was kicked. He had done kicked 3 times before the ball was snapped.
Okay, so that was just a regular season game in Cleveland, right?
But Cleveland said, hey, we could have won that game because they got him off to a fast start.
Okay, is the head going to roll here?
I believe he'll lose his job. I really do, Skip.
Okay.
As great a season as he had officiating, this one bad moment
But again, the NFL can't announce that right now. They can't take action without disqualifying the Rams.
Such a good point that you bring up, Skip, because whatever he says adds fuel to the fire. And then it feels like this is getting worse as the week has progressed.
I don't like the fact that they keep using the term integrity.
Yeah.
Like there is something seedy, something shady.
It's going to be a long offseason.
And Ms. Benson started this with her letter.
It's going to be a long couple months. Well, the fans have spoken in the NBA, and it looks like LeBron, well, he's still the favorite.
What's going on here?
We're going to discuss the votes next.
No mercy.
Hey everyone, Jenny Taft here, and thank you for listening to the Undisputed podcast. If you like what you hear, then you should subscribe to the First Things First podcast featuring Chris Carter, Nick Wright, and Jenna Wolf. The First Things First pod breaks down the biggest stories in the world of sports. So if you like the NFL, NBA, college sports, then you're going to like this podcast, the First Things First podcast. The First Things First podcast drops Monday through Friday with a special weekend edition as well. And be sure to catch the show live on TV before us every weekday at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Now, back to our show.
No mercy.
Well, LeBron received the most votes in the NBA for the All-Star game, and he'll be one of the team captains along with the Greek Freak. LeBron will start in his 15th All-Star game, which ties an NBA record despite the fact that he hasn't played since Christmas. He was averaging over 27 points per game with about 8 rebounds, 7 assists before he got hurt. So, Shannon, are you surprised your guy LeBron got the most votes?
Skip, I am a little surprised.
You are?
Okay.
Surprised too.
I'm surprised you're surprised.
The first round of voting, absolutely not, because he was playing up until that point.
Okay.
The second and third round, like you said, Skip, he hadn't played. Now, I get the fans, but he was one across the board. The players, he hadn't played in a month. Jenny said he hadn't played since Christmas. So that's over a month.
Wow.
And the player said,
did she say that, or is that a fact?
Don't do that.
I don't know.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I thought maybe she was exaggerating.
No, she wasn't exaggerating.
Okay.
Ain't played since Christmas. Got hurt Christmas night.
All right.
Yeah, he wasn't able to open his presents. He was so sore.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, had to get help coming in the house.
Wait, on December 26th, he tweeted, dodged a bullet.
Growing.
Back in no time.
He like, Savannah.
A little time.
Yeah.
A little time.
They say Savannah met him at the door with a bag of ice. Say, get well, baby. Take your time, though. The media also said, Skip Bayless. Now, you know the media, they were very outspoken when LeBron was taking time off and wasn't playing, was missing games, especially going on the road. But the fans said one. The players said one. The media said one. So that's what I'm surprised that he got ones across the board. The fans, okay, I get that. Okay, the fans, they love who they love because they almost had Doncic as a starter. They love who they love. I got no problem with that.
Wait, is that possible that Luka Doncic finished second in the fan voting?
That's what I'm talking about.
And he's not even going to be a starter because he got disqualified by the media and the player votes?
And the player vote. But it shows the respect that they have. I mean, think about it, Skip, in 16 years.
Yeah.
15 times he's been a starter. Only Kobe Bryant can say that, but Kobe played 20. Now, next year, he's going to break that record with Ty. He's going to break the tie with Kobe.
He will. Okay.
Yeah, you would have been assuming correctly.
Okay.
Skip, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, James Harden is doing things we ain't never seen. We hadn't seen in a very, very long time. Averaging 50 points over the last 6 starts, if I'm not mistaken. Steph, KD, all these guys that everybody say is passing LeBron. That's not what the fans say. That's not what the players say. That's not what the media say. What's going on, Skip? Skip, I'm not good at math. I'm not Pythagoras. I'm not Benjamin Banneker. I'm not Einstein. I'm not really good with numbers.
Look all those names up?
Yeah.
No,
Google. Google is your friend.
I don't do Google. I tell you, Skip, I keep telling you, Jenny, I don't know everything. I know a little bit about everything. What I know a hell of a lot about. And I know this.
Yep.
And you know this to be true. And I know it's digging in your craw. Oh, I dare you about it.
My craw's just fine.
No, it ain't.
Okay.
No, you didn't take no probiotic this morning.
Yeah, I did.
And my doctor said that.
I already took it.
My doctor told me, said, you throwing money away. But anyway, that's another story.
That's not true.
I'm just telling you what he told me.
You got a quack doctor.
No, I ain't gonna do that. He good, Skip. Yeah, it took me like 6 months to get in to see him. But I'm trying to figure out, Skip Bayless, how do we get all these votes? This is the most votes in NBA history. What is LeBron doing? I mean, for a guy that You should be surprised at this. The man hadn't played since criminal night. Team is in shambles. And the fans, the media, and the players say, number one across the board. Nobody else got number ones across the board. No, Skip, listen, look at me now. I'm the captain. That's what he told them. Look at me. He
said that?
He don't matter where he go. Last year, he was the captain of the Eastern Conference. Wow. He sailed to the West Coast in a yacht like Jerry Jones got and told everybody, look at me. Look at me. Irish.
Is it my turn?
I'm the captain.
Irish?
Yeah.
He's Irish now?
No.
Oh, okay.
I like that. Well done.
Well done.
The I'm the captain thing had me laughing.
You know,
sorry, that was funny.
Did you see Captain Phillips?
That was
Jenny,
funny.
you are easily amused.
Hell,
I don't know.
You don't remember
I
Captain
saw
Phillips?
Captain Phillips.
You
I
liked
it.
Exactly.
I liked it.
How could you not like it? It's Tom Hanks.
That's what he called Tom Hanks. He called
I
him
know.
Irish.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. It was just a stretch. But it's
No,
okay.
no,
It's okay. It's
You know,
okay.
no stretch.
So, am I surprised that LeBron's the most popular player in the NBA? No, I'm not surprised.
That's fans. That's the fans.
Okay, I'm going to get there in just a
Okay.
second. But that's where he did his most damage, was with the fans. He's a Hollywood star. He needs a star on the Walk of Fame because he deserves it. He's not only chasing Michael B. Jordan, he's about to catch and pass Michael B. Jordan, because every time I look up, his IMDb credits just keep on keeping on, right?
We got a lot of stuff in the
everywhere. And he needed to take a little time off so he could finish off a lot of his projects. I don't know. That's all I can figure out, because LeBron James is the MVP of Instagram. When it comes to professional athletes, does anybody dominate anymore on Instagram?
He got 50 million followers.
Okay, 50 million followers. Well, what do you think's going to happen if you open it up to fan voting for who should be on the All-Star team? He's going to win.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to get is, what about the players? Because you remember Kevin Durant said he's toxic.
Okay, remember, 50% of this, the way it's weighted, 50% is fan vote, then 25% media, 25% players.
Yes.
So if you win the fan vote, you're pretty good. Except Luka Doncic was only 378,000. That's not many behind LeBron.
Yeah.
And he just bottomed out. The players and media gave him little to no respect when it came to All-Star.
But think about it, Skip. Every year, Yao Ming was starting.
Okay,
because China they were flooding the ballot boxes.
Okay, well then China's flooding it for LeBron.
No,
right?
don't do that, Skip.
Yes, they are.
No,
yes,
they're not. No.
He's got fans all over the world.
Oh, he does. He is beloved. I give you that.
Okay, okay, you telling me why the fans love him. He's been at it a while. I need the players.
Let's start with the media, shall we?
Yeah, we shall.
Media. So the media gave LeBron 78 votes, but guess who they gave 77 votes? Kevin Durant. It was just one vote. 78 to 77, the media voted LeBron by one vote.
Okay.
And again, as Kevin said, there are a lot of fanboys in the media.
Okay.
So one fanboy more voted for LeBron,
Okay.
right?
So hold on. So one fanboy, Kevin Durant, got 77.
Mm-hmm.
Those
are the hardcore, objective media people.
Oh, really? The ones that voted for KD?
Yes, the 77. Because they can't even like him because he's always biting the hand that feeds
Okay, but what about the players?
He's always ripping the media saying, you guys don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't know about the players. I didn't know about the players.
Yeah, players. It was pretty close. It was 174 to 168.
What?
LeBron over KD.
Okay.
Okay, so that was
6.
Okay, 6. Because I'm no good at math, but you're Einstein.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 votes. Wow, and those are big votes now, 174 to 168.
Yeah, and the man ain't played in a month.
So would you call that a runaway?
Well, no. Whether you win by one vote, because we see somebody won the popular vote and somebody won the electoral vote, and guess who get to be the president? So one guy got one more media vote, and another guy got 6 more player votes. Get who the El Capitan.
I want to know who counted the votes, because I might call for a recount on the player votes. I don't know.
El Capitan.
Because the league controls the player votes. You know, they could sort of
release
whatever they
there
want
you
to
go.
release.
See, there you go with your conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy, but you never know.
That's what they call LeBron now, El Capitan.
Do they? I don't call him
the
that.
captain.
Okay.
Kareem was the captain. Derek Jeter was the captain, and now LeBron James.
And Shannon Sharpe, or less Shannon Sharpe, who will the captain pick with his first overall pick? KD. Why would he do that? Why?
That's what we always do.
Oh,
we get the best players.
Because the captain knows the best player in basketball is actually Kevin Durant.
No, he's not.
He knows that.
That is what the player said.
Well,
6 more players said LeBron James is the best.
Then why wouldn't LeBron pick Joel Embiid?
He don't need to. He picked. That's the whole objection about being the captain. When you get the captainship, you get to pick who you want. Because a lot of times, Skip, I was the captain. You know, when I was growing up, we had field day and stuff.
Sure.
I was the fastest. I was the most athletic. I was the captain. So I picked who I wanted to pick first.
Okay.
That's the objective of being the captain.
Did you pick the guy you were most afraid of?
I was afraid. Skip. Everybody wanted me on the team. I was the first pick.
Yep.
Kickball first. Softball first.
Okay,
Basketball
all right,
first.
Great.
Relay.
And that has what to do with what?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
Because the captain get to pick who they want to pick first. See, who you wanted to pick? Tell me who you haven't picked.
Do you know the old expression, keep your friends close and your enemies closer? He's keeping his enemy closest. Give me Kevin. That's number one. And number two, the ulterior motive is, I got to convince Kevin that I love him so he'll come to L.A. and save my legacy by helping me win one more championship. Am I right about that? Am I right?
Maybe you could. There could be some. There's a little truth even. But anyway, let me ask you a question.
So I lied.
If Kevin Durant had the first pick, who you think he taking first?
Not LeBron James.
You won't bet nothing.
I promise you.
You won't bet nothing.
I promise you.
You know what? You know what, Skip Bayless? We'll never know.
You know what? He would take Steph because he would be loyal to his team. That's what he would do.
Guess what?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
Because as long as old Bron James, old Capitan, El Capitan.
Old Capitan.
Yes.
A lot of names.
So are you suggesting that because he won the popular vote, that qualifies him as the best player in basketball?
The player said that. No, that don't call it the fans.
Well,
I mean, fans.
It wasn't exactly a landslide.
That doesn't matter. One is good. Would you want to win by 1 point
remember,
or 50 points?
A few players are going to disqualify Kevin Durant because he gets to play with Steph, and now he gets to play with DeMarcus.
Oh, what about LeBron?
Yeah.
All the toxicity around.
Yeah. Well, there is toxicity.
And he ain't a great leader because he finger point and all those, those cryptic tweets that he be going on. Players don't like that.
I'm glad you said that. Because that's the truth.
Okay.
He's not.
All that being
but
said.
LeBron hasn't had a great year, so I don't think he's back up.
About what you said. You talk about Paul George should be in the MVP conversation with 28, 8, and 4.
Yeah.
LeBron averages that for a career.
Well, is LeBron playing defense the way Paul George is right now?
Where is he ranked?
He's better.
Last year, every time I turned around, he's 325. He's 355.
Finished 318.
And where is he now?
I don't know.
Like 35, 40.
He's in there.
Yeah.
If you're the best player in basketball and you're 35th or 40th in defensive win shares, that's not very good, right?
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, so he's 7th in PER this year, which is...
hold on, Skip.
That's the 5th worst of his 16 seasons, so he's not having a great year.
Hold on,
by the way,
he ain't played.
well, thank you for that, because you realize his 34.6 minutes a game, that's the lowest of his career.
Yeah.
So even when he plays, he's not really playing a lot.
Yes, hold on, but that's the thing, though, Skip. Think about that. He's doing his normal numbers, playing 3-4 minutes less than what he normally averages.
How can you be the best player in basketball when you're shooting 68% from the free throw line?
Easy.
Oh.
Wilt was the best player, and he shot like 50%.
He was 7'1".
And so was Shaq.
Oh, he was 7'2".
Okay.
Okay. So is LeBron? No, he plays guard, right?
He's a 3.
Oh, he's a 3. Somebody bet me that he's going to shoot above.
No, we're not talking.
80%.
That's not what the discussion is right now.
Well,
the discussion is
how many late game disasters has he had at the free throw line, and he's still the best player.
He's missed a few.
Disqualified.
I mean, there was a time that Jordan missed 2 free throws at the end of the game that cost him the game.
Yeah, but this is on a regular
regs.
basis. Yeah, this is liability at late.
You remember Golden State in Game 7? He hit the free throw to ice and put him up by 1.
I just remember who hit the shot to win the game. But
we're not talking about Kyrie. We'll talk about Kyrie a little later.
And by the way, last thing I'm going to say about this: there are 8 games that LeBron has played for the Lakers in which they had shots in 8 fourth quarters to close the game, and for some reason, El Capitan didn't close the game.
If you don't mind me asking, when Steph Curry was out 14 games with his injury, what was the Golden State Warriors record?
I don't care.
Oh, Lord, you don't care now. Now, you got the best player. Why you going 500, Skip?
You know what? Kevin Durant is having quietly a great year.
I get all of that. Quietly, Steph Curry is having a career year.
Yep.
Quietly, Klay Thompson is having a career year.
And quietly, DeMarcus Cousins is off to a great start.
Okay.
You guys have me ready for the All-Star game. Just under a month away. Let's get LeBron back.
No mercy.
Super Bowl coming up. So the Patriots will be playing in their third straight Super Bowl in about a week after
why do we
losing
show that
to the
play?
Eagles in the Super Bowl last season. I didn't pick that, Skip, sorry. Bill Belichick was asked yesterday.
What Brady hater chose that?
Who did this?
Who did that?
Brady
did you
was
call
asked
for that?
yesterday if last year's loss made the Patriots any hungrier this time
505
around.
yards.
He said,
Get
quote,
it
there's
to read.
nothing in the past that does or doesn't help us. We got to show some
wanna drop
footage
pass?
We gotta
from the
show footage,
loss.
Skip. We got to show people that we're fair and biased here.
I think it might have had something to do with that.
Did you call for that?
Shannon,
I did.
do you agree with what Belichick said? You want me to say it again? The quote was, there's nothing in the past that does or doesn't help us.
True. And maybe Coach Belichick isn't motivated by what transpired.
Oh, that's a fact.
But we know who is motivated, don't we,
Thank
Skip Bayless?
you.
Julian Edelman kept saying it on the sideline. You're too D.O. You're too D.O.
I don't think he said D, but
Yeah. What about
something else.
What about the impromptu with Tracy Wolfson? You know, everybody thinks we suck. What's there? Everybody has a rallying cry. Julian Edelman selling T-shirts, bet against us, but they ain't motivated. Huh? Coach Belichick is absolutely right. Last year's game is not going to have a bearing on this year's game. It's not going to help them in any way, shape, or form. Maybe it says, look, if we hold on to the football, but that's neither here nor there. But I can assure you, the guys that were on that roster, they want to atone, although you can't, but they want to make amends for what transpired. They believe, Skip, they believe every time they touch the field, they believe they're the best team that's taking the field on a given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday.
Okay.
They honestly believe that.
Sure.
With the exception probably of once, and I'm not so sure they didn't think that the first Super Bowl, they believe that they hit the field Super Bowl Sunday as the best team.
I'm not sure they thought they were better than the St. Louis Rams.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe
I'm not sure about that.
Without the first one.
Yeah.
But
I
from
agree.
that point on,
Yep.
they believe they're the best.
Every time.
Now, for some reason, they've convinced themselves that they're the underdog. Kind of like the Philadelphia. You know, they wore the dog mask, and that was their rallying cry. Underdog, the wonder dog, all that. But somehow the Patriots have convinced themselves they're the underdog.
Remember, Vegas opened them as a slight underdog in the Super Bowl until the public said, hold on just a
You must
second.
be out
and
your
went,
mind.
Boom.
You must be out your mind.
Yep.
So Coach Belichick is absolutely right. I don't believe he's probably not using it as motivation. He's absolutely right. Last year's game is not going to play an impact on this year's game. But a lot of his players are definitely using what transpired last year to make sure that doesn't happen this year.
Especially the quarterback.
Yes.
So obviously, Bill Belichick can gain no motivation from what happened in last year's Super Bowl because he was the reason they lost.
You know
last
what? I
year's
knew
Super
you was
Bowl.
going to say that. Stop it.
Well, it's glaringly, blatantly, egregiously obvious that he was at fault. He was the lowercase goat of the game.
You want the commissioner to come out and say something? Because it's infecting the integrity.
That's not. Well, you know what? You could call the integrity. You would have to call Coach Belichick's integrity into question because why would you bench your best cornerback for the entire Super Bowl inexplicably for no apparent reason that we know of? Am I right about that? Why would you keep Malcolm Butler in tears on the sideline?
Do you not trust Coach Belichick?
I do not. Not after what Seth Wickersham had reported via ESPN at the previous trade
You
deadline.
didn't trust him before that.
Okay, well, all I know is that the report was that Robert Kraft ordered Bill Belichick to trade Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay.
And it's highly possible that he was, well, his friend said in the piece that he was
Very
angered.
upset.
He was, what was the word? He was demoralized.
Right.
Anger. He was furious and demoralized. Those are the two words from his friends of Belichick that were quoted in there.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. The one time, it's been one time. I mean, it's not all the times that you got said yes. It's the one time you was told no.
Okay, so did that start affecting the coach's judgment as he made strategic decisions down the stretch? I don't know about that. I start to wonder because was it possible that he was still in a pouty mood, that he was in a sabotagey mood, and for some reason he saw some ghost in Malcolm's behavior that week? And again, Malcolm says, remember, here's the statement Malcolm released the next day on Instagram. He said, during Super Bowl week, I never attended any concert, missed curfew, or participated in any of the ridiculous activities being reported. That's from Malcolm Butler the next day on Instagram. Guess who liked that? Tom Brady liked that, so he endorsed that. He signed off on that. He underlined that, right, and said, love you, Malcolm. You are an incredible player and teammate and friend, always with 6 exclamation points. So Tom is saying, thank you for saying that.
Because Malcolm Butler saved his legacy. When he got that pick in the end zone, saved Tom Brady's legacy. Because up until then, what would he have been, Skip Bayless?
He would have been a guy who had thrown for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter against the Legion of Boom.
And guess what? He threw for 505 in the Super Bowl. And had he won it, it would have been the greatest playoff performance in NFL history.
You want to talk about sticking in somebody's craw? It sticks in 12's craw. He has been obsessed this year with getting even for what happened in that Super Bowl last year. And yes, he did fumble at the end of the game, but it wasn't...
No, take the quotes off.
Wait. It wasn't an unforced error. It wasn't like he made a mistake like he did to Reggie Ragland.
Ball secured. He didn't secure the ball, so that's a mistake.
He's trying to do too much, and it was a great play by Brandon Graham, and you have to admit that.
It was a great play.
It was a great play. It's what you call a forced error. Sometimes one guy, a very good player, Brandon Graham, just makes a better play. It's not Tom Brady's fault. You just have to give credit to Brandon Graham.
Hold on, I just got to figure.
He threw for an all-time record. Nobody in the history of this league in any playoff game has ever thrown for more than 505.
And whose restaurant did he attend after the game?
505.
Whose restaurant did he attend after the game?
What if your best cornerback had played all 4 quarters with the backup quarterback? Wait a second, I haven't finished. Would the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles be the Super Bowl MVP by hanging 41 points on Bill Belichick's defense? No Malcolm Butler? You don't think that shook up everybody in the locker room? What are you doing, Coach?
I didn't hear this outrage when you put the backup DB in the game against Seattle. Kyle Arrington was the starter, Jenny. Where was the outrage that Kyle Arrington was benched and Malcolm Butler winning the game?
Kyle Arrington got roasted and toasted. Nobody cared about that because every time I looked up, he was trailing somebody who was catching one over his head.
So in other words, you trusted Bill Belichick's decision on that, just not this.
Tom Brady was down 24-14 to Seattle as the fourth quarter started, and you know the rest of the story. That was all-time clutch from the clutchest quarterback ever.
Malcolm Butler saved his legacy. Say it with me.
No, he didn't save his legacy. That game wouldn't have hurt Tom's legacy.
Oh, really?
Well, after what he did in the fourth quarter, did anybody fault him?
Being 3-3?
Was he the lowercase goat of the game?
3-3?
Yeah.
He's not into the GOAT discussion.
Yeah. Not 3-3.
He would have been 3-3.
Let's see, at that point.
Yeah, he was 3-2. That put him at 4-2. Yeah. Atlanta put him at 5-3. Excuse me, he was 3-2.
3-2. All right.
So that would have made him 3-3. Because Atlanta made him what? 5-3.
Okay. No, that's not true.
Yes,
he was one more than you're giving him credit.
No. He was 3.
Okay, because he got up to 5 with Atlanta, and then he went down.
Had he lost to Seattle, that's not a win. That's a loss. So now he's 3-3 instead of 4-2.
Okay, but again, nobody would fault Tom Brady for that loss, right?
No.
Would they?
Oh, but you fault LeBron James for his loss. You say Ray saved his legacy. That's what you say.
Well, he just did.
Wait
a second.
What?
LeBron had the ball in his hands and got to take the last shot to force overtime. Wait a second. He clanged it. He LeBricked it so bad, it bounded clear out to Chris Bosh on a long rebound, who flicked it right over to Ray Allen, who made the clutchest shot I've ever seen in any big NBA playoff game.
Okay, you're right.
Saved legacy.
LeBron James had the ball in his hand. If you don't mind, when he was strip sacked, who had the ball in their hand?
Well, again, it's different. It's
different. He had the ball in his hand.
Yeah, how can you do more than 505? Wait a second. Tom Brady threw the clutchest Hail Mary I have ever seen. He hit Rob Gronkowski right in the hands at the end of the game. Go look at it. It's right in his hands. Wait a second. He's 6 feet 6 inches tall, and there are a bunch of miniature DBs around, and somehow they all out-jump him for the ball. I don't know, because he's Frankenstein.
Only you can define clutch as something that's incomplete. He hit the clutches out in baseball history.
It's hard.
Only you can do that.
It's hard to throw a Hail Mary that accurately.
The clutch's Hail Mary.
It hit him right in the hands. Go look at it.
I thought Clutch.
It hit him right in the hands.
I thought Clutch had to be a positive end result,
Well,
like a game-winning shot.
Don't argue against Tom Brady not being clutch. He's the clutchest performer in the history of sports.
I didn't say, Skip, I'm not arguing that.
Okay, so the point here is he has been on a mission all year long to get even with what happened in that Super Bowl, and I'm sure in his heart of hearts, he thinks it was his coach's fault. Because remember what he told Jim Gray in the offseason, right? Are you happy? I have my moments.
And Coach Belichick think it was his fault. Said if you don't foam it up all, we gonna win it.
Well,
that's what Coach Belichick said.
The guy, you want to talk about Jordan-esque? Tom Brady is on a Jordan-esque mission right now to get even. And it's scary because it's going to cost you more due.
It ain't going to cost me nothing.
Yeah, it is.
Back.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay, well, you can have the Rams anytime you want the Rams.
We'll get them.
Okay.
Since this took a turn to Brady, LeBron, I think you guys are going to enjoy where we're going next. Could Kyrie Irving actually come to L.A.?
Boy, LeBron needs him.
With LeBron again. We'll discuss next.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Could LeBron and Kyrie Irving become teammates again? Kyrie recently said he called LeBron to apologize for how he left Cleveland, and one person who was reportedly next to LeBron when that call was made, Kevin Love. Love was asked if he could see Kyrie joining LeBron in LA and said, quote, "I'm sure if Kyrie wanted to go and those guys wanted to rekindle that, I don't think either would have a problem with that." So Shannon, could you see this happening?
No. I think people are just taking this apology a little bit too far. Kyrie was going through some tough times in Boston with some of his teammates. They were losing games that he felt they should win. And he felt some of those guys were in the very same position that he was in when LeBron came back. And how he bucked, he saw some of his Boston teammates bucking him, and he wanted to call LeBron and say, "Bro, I apologize." I finally realized how difficult it is to lead, how difficult it is to have everybody play to a standard and the expectation. Kyrie does realize that LeBron made his life a lot easier as far as setting a standard for work ethic, basketball smarts, leading a team. But I don't see this happening. Skip, it was a situation with me. I remember when I was coming up, I was in my 20s, and I was dating this girl, and I just felt at the time it was best that we go our separate ways. A year, 2 years later, I realized that was a mistake. But my pride would not let me go and ask her back. And I believe this is a very similar situation.
And you still regret that?
I don't regret it, Skip. You know what?
Why didn't you ask her back?
My pride wouldn't let me.
Well, you're still thinking about it.
Yeah.
The
Skip,
one that got away.
Skip, what I try to do, Skip, is that
You keep in touch?
No, Skip.
Are we switching gears? Do you want to tell us more?
What I try to do, Skip, is I try to take a situation to which we're talking about and try to relate it to a situation that actually happened.
Were you afraid she'd say no?
Oh, I know she wanted O'Shea back. Man, it's hard to tell O'Shea no, man.
Really?
No, Skip, it was just that I just felt, hey, my pride, you did it, and maybe that was a part of it. Maybe the part that she might say no, maybe that would have done more damage to me than I previously thought. Thanks for bringing that up. You always try to somehow. I could always count on you to bring up the worst of things that could have happened. But no, I don't see. I think Kyrie's in a situation now. Kyrie has 10 games in which he has double-digit assists. Last year he had one such game.
That's a good
so
point.
He's starting to understand. We know Kai can score. He can score with the best of them. But now he understands that in order to be the leader and to get this team to where they ultimately want to be, he needs to do more things than score. And he's doing it. Scoring the basketball, assisting the basketball, rebounding occasionally, stealing the basketball. So I don't see a situation where Kyrie and LeBron would link back up in L.A., although that would be a beautiful thing. That would be so beautiful.
Do you think LeBron would have him back if he asked to come back?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes, he would.
Absolutely.
Because LeBron misses Kyrie.
LeBron misses great players. He knows he wants great players.
LeBron needs a closer. He needs somebody to hit that last-second shot.
Didn't you see that enough last year?
Yeah.
Against Indy,
I
against
saw it a couple
Toronto.
times. They were rare.
Against the Nets.
It was a new
against
thing
Minnesota.
for LeBron in his 15th year. Then what happened in the finals? You know what happened.
Golden State happened. The same thing is going to happen in this year's final. Golden State's going to happen.
You think so? It's over already? You've given up. You got the best player on the planet, and you've given up?
Yeah, but they got 2 of the 3 best players on the planet.
Okay.
And then they added Clay, a marksman. And they got Boogie now.
So all you need to know about LeBron James is he wouldn't just welcome Kyrie back, he would hug him back. He would embrace him coming back.
LeBron's like that.
He is like that. He is a very nice guy.
Very
I think
forgiving.
He is to a fault. This is where he departs from Michael Jeffrey Jordan. There's no Jordan in LeBron.
Yeah, but Michael hold grudges far too long. A dude that kicked him in the playground in the 3rd grade, he bringing that guy up at the Hall of Fame speech.
That's correct.
The guy that beat him out. He brought the guy that beat him out for the starting job. He brought the man there to embarrass him. Skip, that was unacceptable. I want you to, you know it too, Skip. Say it.
It's Mike.
I
It's
know,
just who
but
he
that-
is. I know him. It's who he is and was. It's what drove him to the greatest of greatness. He's cold-blooded killer, man.
You don't fly that man out there. The man like,
Okay,
Michael bring me to his Hall of Fame ceremony. Yeah,
But you know what? You know what I loved about it? On display was the real Michael Jordan.
Absolutely.
Right there before your very eyes.
1,000%.
1,000%. I just sat back in awe of it. In the grand scheme of things, did I love? No, I get it. It's like beneath him to do that and that. That's just who he was.
And what did everybody say? Man, I can't believe Michael did that. I can.
Okay? And so just hypothetically, if LeBron had a Kyrie who said, I can't take you anymore, I'm going here, there wasn't this kind of free agent kind of movement or trade movement that there used to be, right?
You mean Jordan had a guy like that?
I'm sorry, if Michael had a Kyrie, I'm
Yes.
sorry. If Michael had a Kyrie and he had moved on and made it public that I just can't take him anymore for whatever reason, and then he decided, oh, I see the light. I need to go back there because I want to keep winning championships with Michael. There's no way Michael would have him back. The bridge it'd be nuked to the ground.
Yeah,
he just wouldn't forgive or forget.
Yeah,
it's not what he was made of.
But LeBron is wired different. LeBron is like, look, man, we all make mistakes. We say things sometimes in a fit of rage, and that we don't necessarily mean, or at the time we mean them, but that's not what's in our heart. And LeBron is like, bruh, I'm bigger than that.
From what I know of Kyrie Irving, is he his own man? Is he a different dude, where he just goes his own
does
way?
his thing.
And every once in a while, he loves to shock the world by doing exactly what you think he wouldn't do. So is it possible, would I give it like a 5% chance that he would reunite with LeBron in Los Angeles next year?
Right.
I'd give it a 5% just because of who Kyrie is.
Right.
He's just that kind of guy. Yeah. But I'd give it a 95 against that he would do this because it would be a big admission of failure on Kyrie's part, number one, because he wanted his own show.
Yes.
He wanted to show everybody he could do this.
Yes.
And I know for a fact, and I'm going to say it one more time, I'm not trying to pile on here, he just got tired of everything LeBron. LeBron can be difficult. I'm not saying he's toxic. It's just difficult because it's his world, it's his team, and you have to sacrifice and you have to bite your lip occasionally. And he thought in the very end that LeBron was slightly more interested in self-promotion and stats than he was in really giving everything to winning the championship. And Kyrie said, I can do it my way with these guys. And all of a sudden, these guys are rebelling against him the way he rebelled against LeBron the first year when he was 22 years of age.
But see, what Kyrie loses me is that he left because he knew LeBron was going to L.A. and he didn't want to be stuck stuck on a team that had a team full of players that wasn't built for what he did.
Yep.
So either he wanted to be out or he knew LeBron was going to be out and he didn't want to be stuck. So somewhere in there is the truth. But the mere fact, like I said, the growth that Kyrie's shown by saying, look, situation wasn't as bad as Skip Bayless wanted us to believe, and that I had an opportunity to learn from the GOAT, and I should have taken more of it, should have taken advantage of it, but I understand now. Sometimes, Skip, you never know what it's like to be a parent until you become one.
Okay, I got that. But Kyrie Irving is deep thinking. He's not second level, he's a third level.
Well, no, he first level because he said the earth was like Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, but he's thinking about that. He's thinking. So in this case, he decided, if I make it public, remember, he volunteered to the media that he called LeBron to apologize. He didn't have to do that. If it was really from his heart, he would have kept that between them. But in this case...
Oh, so you said he faking?
No, he's not faking. He's using LeBron as a prop. That's what he decided. If I call LeBron and tell the media I call LeBron and apologize, that will send the message to my young teammates, aha, you guys should now apologize to me for
Man, stop it, Skip. That ain't what he was doing.
Yes, it was. Yes,
No.
it was. I think you said that in your opening
No,
answer.
no.
That's exactly
No,
what he was doing.
no.
There was method to this because he wanted his younger teammates to see you guys need to grow up and wise up the way I finally did about me as a young guy with LeBron.
I keep telling you, Skip.
You know, in fact, he was really throwing his teammates under the bus a second time when he called LeBron.
No.
He was.
Told you, Skip. What's the old saying? A wise man learns from others' mistakes. A fool learns from his own. So Kyrie is trying. Skip, if you tell me, if you call me at 3:30 in the morning and say, Shannon, don't come down the Avenue of the Stars because there's a big old crater-sized ditch in the road.
A meteor hit.
Yeah. And there's the Avenue of the Stars. If you're going to drive in that ditch, I ain't going that way.
No.
Skip has already told me not to go that way. But if I go that way, then I should have listened to Skip. See?
I'm not going to call you.
Falls in on
Because I know you can navigate that crater.
No.
And you're what is it?
You gonna be, you know why you won't call me? Because he afraid that if I catch him on Avenue of the Stars, what I'm going to do to him if I catch him out there.
The problem is
Kick dust up
you
on
would
him.
never catch me.
Kick dust.
Never catch me.
Kick dust up. You better be lucky I hadn't caught you on that road, Skip, baby.
We need a safe place here. Is that why we don't want to see each other outside of this?
Yeah, because he know what time it is.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm not going to say a word.
No.
'Cause I'm pleading the fifth here.
I think the lesson learned here is, Kyrie, Shannon, put your pride aside. You know, never too late to make it right, Shannon. You brought up your love life, not us.
Jenny, true story, I did call, and I did, say, hey, it should have worked out. She's married, got kids now.
Okay.
It happens.
Okay. But you let her know.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you.
I ain't that prideful. I mean, I got pride.
Were you hoping she'd leave her husband?
No. I don't want them kind of problems.
Thank you for clearing that up. You know where we're going next? A little Twitter beef. Little Twitter beef, Skip. You got a lot of friends on Twitter, some foes, and then you've been getting into it with Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams.
Come on,
we're going to show you all the details. You
Come
got to
on.
see it next.
Why you won't leave people alone?
No mercy.
So Jamal Adams, well, he's gotten into a little bit of hot water for this hit on the Patriots mascot at the Pro Bowl. Yesterday, Jamal said he was told that the guy in the costume had to go to the hospital after the hit, but Jamal said, quote, "My intention was never to hurt him. It was just a joke, guys." On Wednesday night, Skip tweeted this. Just watch the video of Jamal Adams getting a running start and knocking down the Patriots mascot, then celebrating with Pro Bowl teammates. Hey, if you can't beat or knock down the real Patriot players, guess you have to take it out on their mascot. Enjoy the Super Bowl, Jamal. So then Jamal responded by tweeting this. Skip, please make up your damn mind. Are you a Pats fan or a Cowboys fan? Stop acting like Drake. Switching sides every week. Then yesterday, Skip wrote this. Hey, Jamal, no confusion here. I've long been a Cowboy fan, no fan of the Patriots or Belichick, but have long admired Brady as a clutch performer and leader, and I've always respected you till you ran over the Patriot mascot. You were better than that, Jamal. Come on, man. I'm on a roll here. And Jamal wrote back in Shannon's voice, Skip, we're having fun out here, giving the fans a show, learn to live a little. Don't make me bring Shannon out there to teach you a lesson.
Well, that never's happened.
Yes.
Okay, Skip.
Yeah.
I got through the tweets.
That was something,
He
Jenny.
called on Shannon. We'll get to your response, but what is your response to all this?
I'm right back to my initial knee-jerk reaction to the video I saw. I have nothing but respect for Jamal Adams. He is a very good football player. I loved him coming out of LSU into the draft. I thought he was a great pick by the Jets. I'm just still shocked that he would lose his mind for a moment and get a running start and blindside clock the Patriot poor mascot, knock him down, and then jump up and celebrate with his teammates. And he was trying to put on a show because he was doing autographs and pictures with all the fans, you know, and so he's putting on a show. I get that, but that is out of bounds because I don't know if he hurt the guy or not. I'm not sure he actually went to the hospital or not.
That's what's being reported.
Okay, that's what's being reported. And again, that's beneath Jamal Adams' dignity to think that he could get even with the Patriots by running over their mascot. You wouldn't do that in your heyday. You wouldn't have thought to do that.
No, Skip.
Because it wasn't just playful. He was playing football, man. He ran him over with a running start. He didn't playfully push him down. He knocked him down.
First of all.
Come on, Jamal.
Just for the record, I'm Team Jamal.
Okay.
Yeah, Skip, you need to lighten up.
Yeah.
Just having fun out here.
Yeah.
Now, there's also a video of the Patriot mascot tackling Jamal. Now, I don't know if it was before or after, but it seems to me, Jenny, as we say in our neck of the woods, that old mascot tried to secure the bag. He said, this is Skip, true story, 1995, I had injured my eye, so I'm not playing. I'm driving down, I think it's Colorado, but I'm driving down one of the streets, Major Street. And so we're at the light. Light turns green, guy doesn't move, I hit him. Caused an incident, ended up causing two, and knocked his license plates off. So we get out the car. He has no idea who he is. I was like, man, who I am. I was like, you okay, man? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. There's a tow truck driver at the 7-Eleven, just sitting there. So he comes over. He's like, hey, Shannon, how you doing, man? Sorry about your injury. You got hurt. He's like, you a Bronco player? Skip. In the middle of the street, he grabbed the back of his neck and go down on his knees, trying to secure the bag. This thing drags out for like 3-4 years. Skip. This happened in 95. In 99, he finally wants to settle. Say he will settle if I give him 3 jerseys, autographed jerseys, and 2 helmets. I told him to kick rocks. I ain't giving you jack. And that's all this mascot trying to do is secure a bag, Skip Bayless. So
Yours was an accident.
This was an accident.
This was not an accident.
Oh, you heard him on purpose?
This was premeditated.
He heard him on
He
purpose.
got a running start and ran him over. And again, you lost your mind for a moment, and you're trying to show fans, I'm going to get even with the
Skip, that
Patriots.
big old padded costume?
Yeah.
That's a big old padded costume. You know that costume.
What do you think the kid weighed who's inside that costume?
We need to know who's
We need
under
to
that
know.
thing.
I don't know. But he took a shot. That was, he needed a helmet and shoulder pads.
Skip, that big old suit.
Yeah.
Look at the big old, come on, Skip. Now, you know that thing padded up.
Have you seen Jamal Adams hit people?
Yeah. Skip. Now, he ain't hit him like Terry Tate. You remember the commercial?
Yeah.
Terry Tate, offense linebacker, when he running through people? Now, if he'd hit him like that, I was like, yeah, he about to get that bag.
He hit him hard.
That's all he's trying to do,
Knocked
Skip. You
him
know he's
down.
trying to secure that bag.
Yeah.
He might get a little something, get a little piece of change.
Okay. In the end, if you can't beat the real Patriots, if you can't knock down Julian Edelman, then don't take it out on the Patriot mascot. It was just out of bounds. He's still a kid. He's a self-promoter, which I have no problem with. He's a media maven. He's all over social media. And he decided, I'm going to put on a show by knocking him down. And he got a little carried away. You know it, and I know it.
You make it seem like he ran past the other 25 mascots to get the Patriot pat.
Well, he just saw him. He saw red and blue, and he attacked, man.
In the words of my homeboy Mike Epps, Jamal, you're going to have to learn this the hard way. People will do something strange for a little piece of change. And he going to pretend he got a back or neck injury to get
that could be operating also. But I'm not speaking as a Cowboy fan, or I'm certainly not a Patriot fan, as you well know. I'm a Brady fan.
You are.
I don't like Belichick.
But you can't. But hey, Skip, how can you say you don't like chicken, but you like egg?
I don't know.
You can't. They go hand in hand. You can't say you love Tom Brady, but you don't like the Patriots. He is the Patriot.
I don't like the head coach.
Whatever.
I don't root for Robert Kraft or I've not been a long-time Patriot fan. I went to my uncle took me to my first Cowboy game when I was 10 years old at the Cotton Bowl, and they lost to the then St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
And I was hooked.
Was Jim Hart the quarterback then?
No, not yet. I think it was Charlie Johnson. That's way before your time.
Charlie Johnson?
You know who the Cowboy quarterback was? Eddie LeBaron, who was 5 feet 7 inches tall.
So
shorter than our man
all those
Kyler.
might be the same height. It's old Kyler.
Yeah.
Ah,
I mean, Skip, basically, Skip the type of guy, oh, man, I don't mess with no sugar. But I love some cheesecake. I love, man, I love.
Doesn't like either
I
of
don't
those
like
things.
cheesecake. I don't eat it.
I don't like cheesecake either.
Yeah.
But I like cake.
Yeah?
Yeah, red
Well,
velvet.
I'll let you eat cake then. You can have it.
Oh, you don't eat no cake?
I don't eat no cake.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I eat the cake
I
for
leave
this
it for
group.
Jenny.
Oh, Jenny, get that club on.
Don't worry, guys.
Yep.
I got this group.
So, again, Jamal says you're going to, like, put me in my place, and you try,
I do.
but you fail.
All the
But
time.
It's okay.
Team Jamal, Team Jamal, Team Jamal.
Yeah.
The mascot, Pat Patriot, he loves it, though, too, guys. He's retweeting. He loves the attention. We can't deny that. This
But he
is
went to
working
the
out
hospital.
for him just fine.
Just like that guy. Now, he was fine. I asked Jenny, I got out of the car, I said, are you okay? I said, you okay, bro? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. The moment he found out, in the middle of it was on Mississippi Avenue. That's where it was, Mississippi. He goes down in the, Skip.
They have a Mississippi Avenue in Denver,
Yeah,
Colorado?
yeah.
That's weird. Okay.
He tried to secure the bag. I
Okay.
said, I ain't getting him nothing.
Okay.
How you gonna talk about you want $50,000 for $200 worth of damage?
I'm sorry.
Well, you probably hurt the
That
guy.
is
Man, you know what? Skip, I knocked his license.
Skip.
I broke the bolts in his license plate. $200.
Let's keep this going. We're having fun today. Is LeBron ever coming back to play for the Lakers?
That's a good question.
Been a
They
while.
don't need it, right, Skip?
Sorry,
They
he's
don't
gonna help
need
us
it.
answer
That's
that
what you
question.
said against OKC.
No mercy.
The Lakers continue to struggle without the king. They lost to my Wolves last night, which, of course, I didn't mind, which is their third loss in a row, and they're now a disappointing 5-10 since LeBron has been out. Next up for LA, a Sunday home game against the Suns, but Luke Walton wouldn't say if LeBron will return this weekend. Walton said earlier this week, quote, he knows what he's doing, he's taking care of his body, and when he's ready to go, he'll go. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Thanks for joining the crew. So 2 questions for you. When will LeBron be back, and how much will he improve the Lakers?
Well, look, we know 2 things about LeBron. His track record tells us. 1, he loves to play, okay?
Loves it.
You can see from 82 games last year to not missing many games throughout his career to, as we all agree, playing more minutes than he should the last few years, at least last year. So he wants to get out there. So I don't believe any of the theories that are out there. LeBron is sitting out because he wants Luke to look bad and get fired. LeBron is sitting out because he wants Brandon Ingram to showcase himself and improve his trade value. LeBron is sitting out because he wants to win the MVP and have them fall. I don't buy any of it because...
Well, your Twitter followers are smart. Right? That's some wisdom right there.
The second thing we know about LeBron, he's smart and cautious and meticulous about his body. I mean, you spend $1.5 million a year on your body, and he knows, why should I come back? Remember, I was told last week by Rich Paul, he could play if it were the playoffs, and he would be playing. But why come back in the regular season when he's confident I can get us in the playoffs? I can do that whenever I come back.
And it won't be the 8th seed.
Right, I'm sure he's thinking of that too because he wants to avoid Golden State. So I think his confidence in that, and it's just smart, like, don't come back too early, maybe at his age and that type of injury. If you come back too early and you re-aggravate it or injure yourself
You're going to miss more time than the original
overcompensate.
diagnosis.
Right, so I think that's why LeBron is taking so long. Now, I said it on Tuesday. I think he'll play Sunday. That's not from sources or anything like that. I think he'll play Sunday, looking at the way things have gone. If not then I would say Tuesday I'm expecting against Ben Simmons and the Sixers. But here's the thing. The original diagnosis, I know, Skip, he's Superman. You want to say he heals faster than everybody else. But the original diagnosis is 3 to 6 weeks. All right?
I just went off his next day tweet after the
Well,
MRI.
again, he thought it could have been.
Wait a second, dodged a bullet, back in no time.
But hold on, if it's popped,
yeah.
and here is a pop, you think it's serious, you thinking maybe 3 or 4 months.
Okay, but dodged a bullet and you're gone this long?
He ain't no doctor.
Huh, okay.
If he's out another, it's been 4.5 weeks. If he's out another week and a half, which I don't think will be the case, but that'll still be within the realm of timetable.
Yeah,
so
framework.
And let me say this about the MVP. I think he's out of it, essentially. Like, because, look, I'm a voter. Historically, Bill Walton won it in 1978, playing 58 games. But the 70s was crazy vote. Bob McAdoo and Kareem won it without making the playoffs, 2 years. So it was totally different. Not since then, Allen Iverson missed 11 games in 2003, or when he won, 2001, and James Harden missed 10 last year. Those are the most that any MVP award winner has won it with missing those games. So I think he's already missed 15. I think he has, unless he is incredibly spectacular and say lifts them from 9th to maybe 3rd, and this goes beyond your typical LeBron 27, 7, and 7. I think he would have to be almost otherworldly to get the MVP
30,
award,
10, and 10.
especially with what James Harden is doing right now. So I think the MVP he's done.
There is no way it's over. He is in perfect position. He's going to have to make a run, and he's going to have to be a little better than he was the first, third of the year.
Because there were games they weren't closing even with LeBron. I mean, he's going to have to be at his absolute career best, and they better rise up to like 3rd.
If he got him to 3rd, I think he'd be right in the thick of this. Depending on what happened to James, if he ran out of gas, CP3 is about to return. He might return.
Yeah, and that'll bring the numbers down.
Yeah, it'll bring his numbers down. There'll be a little better team. When Capella returns, he'll have a little higher assists. It'll just change the flow. He won't be averaging 44 a game. Okay.
All right, we'll see.
Go ahead.
You're going to let me go?
You do it good. Yeah, you do it good.
This is LeBron James, who just won the popular vote among fans for #1 overall for the All-Star game, right?
Yep.
So, again, what gets me is you say he likes to play, and I can't compute all this because he loved to play when he was in Cleveland because there really wasn't much else to do in Cleveland except play basketball. He's got a whole lot of new irons in the fire here. So you can't tell me he just needed to take a little time off, both off the court and on the court, because he is, even though he's only, 34 years of age, we're talking about 16th season, high mileage, high playoff mileage, high regular season mileage, played all 82. So I think he needed to take a little break. I think he was
rest the body.
Yes. But I also think he is ecstatic that this team has not risen to the occasion without him. The Lakers hit bottom last night. I don't know if you guys checked. I know it was the late game.
Last night?
Yeah. No, last night.
The Knicks or the Cavs.
This is it.
Because Minnesota should beat them, right? They got Karl Anthony Towns, the best player on the floor. Wiggins.
D. Rose has been unbelievable.
Timeout. Derrick Rose got hurt last night and played all of 12 minutes. Jeff Teague out last night. Tyus Jones out last night. So you have no point guard, and you can't get that home. It was 84-82 after 3 quarters, and you got outscored 36-23 in the 4th, and you can't tell me they don't miss Lonzo Ball. I know you guys, you're not a big fan. I am, and they missed him last night. I know Rondo was back, but he had little to no impact in the 4th quarter. I got to show one thing before we go on. This is hitting bottom. This is desperation. Did you see what Rondo tried to pull off with what was it, like seconds? It was already 1:13. It's 2:12 left in the game. So Rondo is so desperate that, check this out. Taj Gibson.
He threw the towel?
Yeah, he throws a towel, and he gets a technical
timing.
foul. He tries to throw a towel to distract. Aha!
I kinda
Taj
like
Gibson. Way to go, Rondo.
Amazing.
Way to go. So that's desperation. Like, I got to resort to that. And remember, the score at that point was 113-99. So it's virtually over, and it comes to that for this group. And I got to tell you, Kyle Kuzma has regressed to me over the last 3 or 4 games. He was on course to become like a quasi-star, like he's edging into stardom. And I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing it from Brandon Graham. And I do believe that
Brandon Ingram.
I mean, we've been talking about Brandon.
Yeah.
Graham. But deep down, I think LeBron is loving this because he is in really good position. A lot of pressure, a lot of new pressure. But when you come back, you still have enough pieces, especially when Lonzo gets back. You could make a big run through it's not even the second half of the year because you're past the halfway point. But I think that's what he is all about right now.
I'm just
The
trying to
MVP.
Yeah.
The MVP.
if let's just say LeBron is healthy and the starting 5 for the Lakers and Minnesota's healthy, starting 5. After LeBron, how many Lakers go before Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins?
Do you know how both of those guys have underachieved?
I know.
Do you have any idea how bad they've been in long stretches where you've sat back and said, what are they doing? Especially Karl Anthony Towns. He finally took over a basketball game last night in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And that hasn't happened very much. And I didn't blame Jimmy Butler one bit for calling both of them out because they deserve to be called out.
It's going to be interesting, just quickly, how that impacts Anthony Towns' career. Because now guys around the league are thinking, you soft.
Correct.
You let a guy,
He did.
Calipari's words, bullied him.
He bullied him.
A little 6'6" guard. I mean, that's still a big guy, but
I
you let
agree.
him bully, right? He's
did.
playing better
Yep.
since
Much
Butler
better.
left, but
And
still.
they've won.
What? Hold on.
7 of 10. They won 7 of 10.
I know. Listen, I was just happened to be up late on Christmas night, and the Lakers were playing Golden State, and someone tweeted, "Who needs LeBron?" Now, I'm not going to tell you it came from Skip Bayless' account, but that's none of my business. Okay, they played OKC just last week.
You know what? You need to get a sense of humor. You have no sense of humor. You take everything so seriously.
Hold up, Skip.
You got to
Hold up,
relax
hold up,
and
hold up,
enjoy
hold up.
life.
Hear
You
me
got to
out.
stop and
In
smell
the words of my
all
good
the
friend-
palm trees here,
In the
right?
words of my good friend Rob Parker, hear me out, Skip. Hear me out. OKC Thunder. Now, Josh Hart said the narrative is that it's LeBron and the Lakers. He said, we got good players. So whether LeBron here or who's here, we going to be okay. I didn't see it. You got an opportunity. You got 15 games. You're 5-10 without LeBron. You lost to the Knicks, who had lost 8 straight. They trying so hard, so desperately to get Zion Williamson. You lost to the Cavs. They thinking about trading Kevin Love because they want Zion Williamson. You keep telling me you got great players. I just need to see it, Josh Hart.
So you're saying LeBron has no help?
No. Whoa, Skip. No, everybody was kidding. Oh, you remember Skip, Chris? Whoa, he got so much more talent than what he had in Cleveland. I can't tell.
I think he's got more than he had last year, but it's still not very good. There's no question. And look, to your point again, I think he's virtually out of the MVP race. But it is human nature. You can speak to this as a pro athlete. It's human nature to kind of want the team to look like they need you, right? Sure. To want them to struggle. I mean, you know the guys, you like them, but you also want it to look like you're needed. Whether you're LeBron James or Rajon Rondo, wherever you are.
They're in 9th place right now without LeBron playing there. One game this year. What are they going to be at, 13, 14?
Oh, if he wasn't on the team.
If he wasn't on the team. What, they 13, 14? They better than Phoenix? That's it?
That
They're
that
down
low,
there.
really?
Because Memphis, they're a little above Memphis. Last year they won 35.
They're not better than Sacramento.
No, Sacramento's
You know what would happen? The current head coach, who you still support, he would not be the head coach without LeBron.
Right.
Because they would be losing games and things would have to, because Magic Johnson would not stand.
Now, do you think he's not? I don't think Luke is the problem. That's what I'm not saying he's Red Auerbach.
No.
But I don't think he's the biggest problem. I think they have a
Red Auerbach, can we get a Brad Stevens?
We're seeing it. This team, and I agree with you on Kuzma. I thought he was creeping up toward, like you said, quasi-stardom. What he's showing is that, he needs a setup guy like a LeBron who not only can set you up, but draws so much attention. And that's fine. If they get an AD or somebody else, he's a nice third guy.
When is Brandon Ingram going to creep up?
Well, he's...
Oh, okay.
Whole different discussion, different day. Need more time for it? Okay.
And the best big is Zubats.
I agree. He's the only one that can create his own offense.
All right. Well, Chris, thanks for joining us. We got to get LeBron back. Boy, it's time.
Sunday.
It's time.
Sunday.
We'll see. We'll
You better-
discuss
hey,
it
I'm
next
telling
week.
You got the cakewalk game.
LeBron
against
comes.
Phoenix.
That's perfect
Skip
for him
Bayless.
to come back.
If LeBron comes back Sunday, I'm coming out here in all Lakers gear, shorts, gym shoes, and jersey.
I don't know if we want
Why
to
would
see
you do
shorts.
that?
Ah, that's wrong, because I already know he'll
have
give you a
to wear
virtuoso.
shorts.
He gonna give you a virtuoso.
He's playing Phoenix. It's the worst team in the
gonna
West.
wear-
You didn't say that.
Arguably, it's the worst team in
You
basketball.
didn't say that when James Harden hit 61 against the Knicks. You didn't say he playing the
I
Knicks.
did too. I told you I can't get excited about it because it's the Knicks.
Well, get
and he
excited.
went 5 of 20.
Oh,
You're disqualified.
And guess who had pom-poms when Michael
I'm
Jordan
already
dropped the
calling
double
you
dip?
out. I'm calling you out right now.
What?
You cannot wear Laker gear.
I'm wearing Laker
The
gear.
whole year?
The whole
Just
Laker
'cause he
gear.
misses it so much. He
Laker
misses it.
gear.
Let's give it.
And
let's
the
give
GOAT
it
man.
to
That'd
him
be
if he
GOAT man.
needs
GOAT
it.
man. GOAT man.
Chris, we will see you soon. Let's just let Shannon do his own thing. Is the Patriot way all it's made out to be? We'll discuss that with our resident Patriot hater, Rob Parker, next.
No mercy.
Well, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are headed to their 9th Super Bowl together, and the team is going to their 3rd straight. It's no secret that New England is very polarizing. There were stories of tension in the building. Well, offensive lineman Trent Brown, who is in his first season with the Patriots, said all that noise is, quote, bull crap. He added that playing in New England is nothing like people say, and, quote, it's fun here. It's fun here, guys. We're joined by Rob Parker. But first, Skip.
Yep.
Do you agree with those comments from Trent Brown?
I 1,000% agree with yet another outsider who has become an insider who says, time out. This is 1,000% real in here. Tom Brady is 1,000% authentic with everything he says and does. And I have told you guys in all my years at ESPN, I worked with so many ex-Patriots. I'll just name a few: Teddy Bruschi, Christian Fourier, Damian Woody, Ty Law. He wasn't at ESPN, but we've had him on this show, and I've known him off the field a little bit. I have never heard one discouraging word about Brady inside the locker room. The Patriot way is the foundation for the dynasty, whatever you want to call it, whatever term you want to use for it. It's who they are because it's the essence of how they keep winning. And the Patriot way is mostly the Brady way because he's the one who sets the tone in the locker room. We're going to work hard. We're going to work fanatically hard. We're going to practice hard, but we're going to have fun in the locker room. And Trent Brown said, it's fun in here. And that's what I've always heard from all the ex-Patriots. They all have fun because, as Shannon Sharpe will tell you, it's fun to win.
Absolutely.
And after a while, you just see, oh, this works. And the only reason it works, can Belichick be a tyrant? Is he no fun? Is it the no fun league for Belichick? A lot of times it is. But the quarterback keeps saying, hey, this is just the way we got to do it. Do what he says. Do I think the quarterback believes in everything the head coach says? I do not. But he grew up being taught, just do what the head coach says, because in the long run, it will work. And it has worked there because the quarterback keeps saying, do it his way. In Cleveland, they rebelled against Bill Belichick, and it became a disaster, and he got fired because the players said, we're not going to take this from you. You're a tyrant. You're overbearing. You're asking us to do things that are unfair for us to do. And he was at war with the media, and here he can get away with it because the quarterback's 1,000% behind the head coach.
And plus, he's won. He's
won
enough, Skip.
That's the only reason you get away with it.
No one's going to crawl and crush it.
Okay, but remember, Belichick hadn't won when he got there. He had 4 out of 5 losing seasons in Cleveland, right? And his first year in Foxborough, they went 5-11.
Well, nobody trying to hear the Patriot way.
Okay.
I don't even know if there was a Patriot way.
Okay, and I know for sure because I know one assistant on that staff that year, the second year under Belichick, they're thinking about putting their houses on the market because they lose the opener, and then they were losing the game number 2, and you know faithfully what happened. Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and here came that 6th-round draft pick from Michigan, and the rest is NFL history, unfortunately for Rob Parker.
I agree with you. I agree with you, and I agree with Trent Brown. Because it seems to me everybody is criticizing without intimate knowledge of what's going on from the inside. And as we say, how you going to hate when you ain't in VIP? See, everybody hating from the outside, Skip. You're not in here. You don't know what's going on. We winning. You're mad because we're winning. That's what you're really upset about. The Patriot way, whatever it is. You know, it's easier. And Trent Brown is a unique situation because he spent his first 3 years in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
And then he got traded.
And real quick, just to put this in perspective, his head coaches were Jim Tom Sula, Chip Kelly, and then Kyle Shanahan. So he had 3 years of the way the other half lives, right? And then he came here and he said, well, wait, that wasn't fun. This is fun. Go ahead.
Because you're winning.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, Skip, is like, and I tell this, and you know Coach Reeves, Dan Reeves. He played for Coach Tom Landry. He was an offensive coordinator under Coach Landry. And when he came, he brought the way Coach Landry practiced them, the way they met, that's how we did it. Well, that was my first 3 years. I was 22 years of age. So that's all I do.
And he is a tough guy.
You better believe it.
There's no nonsense.
No nonsense. We thudded it up. We had pads on Friday. We played on Sunday. We had on pads and we thudding. We ain't put you on the ground, but we thudding it up on Friday. Skip, that's what I was used to. So anybody come after that, that's going to be a piece of cake. Now, had I come from another situation, had I come from the West Coast, the San Francisco 49ers, the way they did it is that they only had on pads on Thursday. When I got with Mike, when Mike came there, we had on pads for 8 plays on Thursday. No pads on on Wednesday. No pads on Friday. 8 to 16 plays on Thursday. That was the only time we had pads. Now, can you imagine coming from that, no pads, but only 1 day a week, 8, 16 snaps, to go into Coach Landry's style system with Dan Reeves? Well, that's what happens. If you come in and you get drafted to the Patriots or you go there early in your career, that's all you know. Someone coming from the outside. See, it was tough for Ocho Cinco, Skip, because he'd been able to be however he wanted to be. Bring props, laugh, joke, bull jive. But once he got there, that's not what they do. So now all of a sudden he couldn't be himself. A part of him playing at that level was him being free, being able to have these shenanigans, being able to do all this stuff, send Pepto-Bismol and all this stuff to the opposing DB. You can't do that with Coach Belichick.
Do it. What did Chad tell us? The first film session he had, the first day of camp, right? Belichick put on the tape of their previous their playoff. I forget who they lost to Baltimore, I think. And he reamed out Tom Brady in front of the team, and Tom just sat there and took it. Okay, that sets that example. That's the Patriot way.
Yeah, I mean, what is he going to say? He's on his way to the Super Bowl. I get it. But Trent Brown's experience doesn't mean that what Lane Johnson and other people have said with their experience there
Lane Johnson never been there. He's talking without intimate knowledge of a situation.
But talking about other people who have been there and said that they didn't like what went on there. And I'll give you this. Here's the other thing. The Patriot way, when you talk about it, what really does that mean? Because I know Bill Belichick's had 8 or 9 assistants who've gone on to other head coaching jobs, and none of them, 0, have ever done anything. Zero.
All right, Rob.
Wait, no.
They couldn't take Tom Brady with them.
But this is my point. So this way of how they do stuff, obviously there isn't a philosophy that's worked that you take and transfer somewhere else, and it's worked for other people. And the only guy who maybe rubbed off on Bill Belichick was Josh McDaniels when he got busted in Denver for videotaping the team's walkthrough in
London.
In London, all right? So that's the only guy.
I'll buy that.
So all I'm saying is, it's when you win, it's easy to just be on board. Trent Brown was in San Francisco where they were 13-35. You just mentioned it. 3 different coaches. What is there to like about that or to trump it? Nothing. You're on your way to the Super Bowl in your first year going to New England. What is there not to like? So I'm not buying into this whole Patriots way and, the way that they do stuff, that's why they win. Because if that was true, Romeo Crennel would have gone to Kansas City and he would have done it, and Eric Mangini would have gone to the Jets and he would have done it, and everybody else.
That doesn't mean it's transferable just because you have success.
No, but usually if you have some sort of system and you know there's a way of how to get stuff out of people, I'm just saying I haven't seen it anywhere else. So I don't know that really exists other than they've been incredibly lucky. They've had a great defense, which I'll give Belichick credit, Shannon. And Tom Brady.
Not the last 3 years, though.
And Tom Brady, when given opportunities, has made people pay. That's, to me, the Patriot way. And you can look, and that's why when I talk about it, there's no 20-year dynasty, 19-year dynasty that people are trumpeting. They went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl. What about those years? What about when Baltimore went up there in Foxborough, Skip, and ran the ball down their throat? They should have beaten them 3 times. Do you remember the receiver who?
Lee Evans,
who had the ball drop a game-winning touchdown. They could have beaten him 3 times. Mark Sanchez and the Jets went up to New England and beat them. All I'm saying is this whole storyline about a 20-year dynasty and they always win and they do things the right way, I'm just not buying into it.
I don't think when you talk about the Patriot way, it's not always about winning. Sometimes it's about playing to a standard. There's a certain there's a certain expectation that when you come into this building, this is the way you will do things. And that's the way it is. And they don't make exceptions for anybody. You see this, you don't hear this snippering. You know, somebody wants a contract and all of a sudden they talking, well, it's because of us they're having success. The things that go on in normal locker rooms, they might happen, but we don't hear about them like we do in other locker rooms.
No, I'll give you that. I just think the Patriot way is overblown because I can look at all the other stuff, and you want to make Bill Belichick a genius. It's not rubbing off on anybody else. It's not transferring. And you could go and look at other guys who have had a tree and look at their success of guys who have gone on to do stuff. Why hasn't one guy been able to take what they do in New England and transfer it over? I'm just asking.
I'm sure Picasso has students. That don't mean they're going to be able to paint
no,
like
but
him.
one. I'm not saying everybody, Skip. One guy.
Rob,
give me one.
Rob, you're missing the point. But what's the constant? It's number 12. He's the one who makes it all go because he keeps saying, we're going to do what he says. And what he says might not always be right, but you can't take 12 with you to Houston or wherever you go.
Rob,
Right?
thanks for being here. Have a good weekend.
I got you.
We got to leave it on that note. Sorry. You've been silenced. Next up, guys, we got a Hall of Famer, Terrell Owens. He is here. He is fired up about what happened to the Saints. I cannot wait for this. That's next.
No mercy.
Our next guest is one of the greatest receivers ever. He's third all-time in both touchdown receptions and receiving yards. Last year, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Terrell Owens, welcome back to Undisputed. So good to have you here. Always a good time. All right, we're going to get right to it. We have to get your opinion on the big controversy surrounding the no call late in the NFC Championship game. Saints tight end Ben Watson even called out Commissioner Roger Goodell yesterday on Twitter saying, quote, "Your continued silence on this matter is unbecoming of the position you hold, detrimental to the integrity of the game, and disrespectful and dismissive to football fans everywhere." Whew. Terrell, you've been tweeting about this all week. What do you think the NFL should do?
I mean, I agree with Ben Watson, and I'm sure not only just, if you're just a fan of football in general, I agree with this assessment. I mean, Roger is making $40-something million a year. He should be able to earn his check. In this situation, again, he owes not only those players, the Saints, but he owes the fans and just the game itself and everybody that surrounds the NFL an explanation because of this infraction.
What are you going to say? What's the explanation he can give that's going to make the Saints players and fans okay?
Well, I think according to the articles, the rule that's in the book, he has the power to go back and replay the entire game.
Man, come on, T.O., you know this.
But I get it, but it's in the rule.
Yes.
It's in the book for a reason.
Yes.
It's just like if you go to court and an attorney is defending his client.
Right.
There's a number of law books that if there's any type of loophole or to defend his client, he's going to go to that law book to defend him because it's in the law. I'm not saying this is the law, but it's in the rule book for a reason. So, again, under his powers, again, I'm not saying play the entire game, but you can go
play the last 149.
From that infraction, you go back and you replay the game. Again, will history be made? Yes. But according to the rules, that's what should be done.
That was never going to happen, Skip, and you know this in baseball, having covered baseball. We're going to play this game under protest. Oh, well, you're just protesting.
It's not a protest. It's in the rule book. It's in the rule book. A protest and something that's in the rule book is totally different.
Well, the protesters in the rule book say we're playing on a protest, hoping that when you appeal to the commissioner, he'll say, let's play this game over.
So why is it in the rule book then? Why? Why?
They're never going to play this game over. T.O., let me ask you a question.
It may be, it may be a once in a lifetime thing.
Is this the first bad call that's ever been made in NFL history?
Of this magnitude, absolutely. From my knowledge, yes.
So
because this play right here directly impacted the entire game.
So there are no other plays that impacted the game.
This one play, dude, Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder saw this play.
I get it. I saw it in real time.
And
it was not a bang play. It was pass interference. It was helmet to helmet contact.
There's 3 infractions that happened in that one play.
That's correct.
And there's a video circulating where that one official that basically whistled incomplete.
Right.
There's the black referee comes over and he's about to pull his flag.
Right.
And he adamantly tells him don't pull that flag. There's a video circulating of that particular play.
Allow me to point out that the earth just moved and pigs just flew because Terrell Owens and I are on the same page about something for the first time in the history.
You change your mind,
Yeah.
You see?
You want to change your mind?
Yeah.
Look at this. The first time ever.
Ever. This was
Ever.
Shannon Sharpe knows in his heart of hearts this is the worst blown call in sports history. It decided which team went to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
You can't say the best team is playing in the Super Bowl come in next week.
You can't.
You can't.
The reason this commissioner is running from this is he doesn't know what to say that won't disqualify the Rams, because if he indicates any sort of blown call or blunder on the part of the NFL, it's like then the Rams become illegitimate Super Bowl team, right?
And at some point, just say the Rams win. In my mind, this is where you put an asterisk by their win. For me, I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't care who, but according to you played in the Super Bowl, I played in the Super Bowl. Guys know it is hard to get to the Super Bowl. That one play impacted, like I said, legacy, Breeze, Peyton, and you talk about financial implications. Again, guys that don't get these type of game checks. These are the type of things that one play impacted that Roger Goodell has the power to address.
Okay, what could Roger say? What if you could counsel him, if you could advise him on this, what would you tell him to say just to placate people who love this game?
I mean, I put him in the seat. I put his position as a judge. You have to look at all the evidence, and according to the laws, the rule book, that's where he implements. The action.
So when were they going to play this game over? When were they going to play the final 149?
They can do it now. All he has to do is go out and according to whatever his powers are, say what he needs to say, and replay it. So I don't know. It's never been done, so I don't know.
So now you know you're starting a dangerous precedent, because guess what? Every bag blown call, you got to replay the game.
Well, they've set the bad precedent when they've established from the tuck rule. That's when you implemented replay. So again, according to replays, there's a number of plays that happened during the course of the game that should have been reviewed that wasn't. But according to this play right here, this one play, like I said, everybody, that you even have Ram players that have come out and say they knew it was. They knew it was PI.
The guy
did it.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah.
He said it. But I tell you what, if I'm a Rams player and I win the Super Bowl, they can put whatever they want on my ring. They can put an asterisk, they can put a star, they can put a comma, a semicolon. I'm wearing that ring.
But it's just not fair. Like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight. But just like
if you're a Rams player, you say you're not going to play in the Super Bowl?
I'm not saying it. But if Roger Goodell comes out and says that we can't play, then yeah, I'm sure they will be pissed.
Come on.
But they know. But they know they're in the Super Bowl because of a botched play.
No, we can't say that.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
What do you mean? Why are we talking about it then?
Because they kicked the field goal, and the Rams went down there and got a tying field goal. So who's to say they don't go down there and get a touchdown to tie the game?
But if this play, if one of these 6 officials throw that flag, we're not talking about the Rams.
What if they missed the field goal?
Who?
The Saints.
If?
Yeah.
Come on, you can't be going by if.
But you said if he make the call, they win the game. So we do it if.
They should have made the call.
Yeah.
Yes,
it was a bad.
This was a blatant call.
Yes.
Everybody in America knows
there have been blatant calls in basketball, in football, even in the Super Bowl.
But like I said,
the World Series.
But as I said, this was a call that should have been made that impacted the entire scope of this game.
Human, imperfect.
Is that a part of why you love football?
Yes.
There's imperfect.
Let me ask you a question. So you've never dropped a pass?
Of course I have.
So you're not perfect, right?
No.
So, but you asked the official to be perfect on every call.
I know,
but there are 6
Wait
officials.
a second. He hasn't dropped the pass that lost the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
This is 6 officials that get paid to make calls, and they all missed it. And then one official basically adamantly told another official
I haven't seen that.
I have.
Okay. Because that's fascinating, and that calls into question the integrity of the league.
Exactly. Again,
well, I would have been called into question the integrity. If you don't throw a flag, you get into a huddle, and then you throw a flag. Then what's going to happen with that, Skip?
What about would you have not gotten it right?
Hold on.
Okay, wouldn't it clear to everybody who was watching?
Detroit, Dallas. When they picked the flag up, should Commissioner Goodell have come out and said,
It didn't decide the game.
Right.
They went down to get the game-winning touchdown.
It was 8 minutes left in the game when that
Was
happened.
that the NFC Championship game? Was it the championship game?
It was a wild card game.
Exactly. You're talking about something totally different.
No, but hold on. It's
So if
just
that's
as
the-
important. You can't.
Okay, if that's the case, then why don't all those referees, knowing that, again, you have one referee saying it's bang bang, why don't all of them go huddle up, confer, and then address that call?
That's correct.
And then throw the flag. Just as well
That
as you
coulda
said, they
happened.
confer and they pick it up.
But here's the thing: if you huddle, if you don't throw the flag and you huddle up, I believe you get more, Skip, than what you're getting right now. And we know the blowback because here we are. It was happened Sunday, and it's a Friday, and we still talking about it. If you don't throw the flag and you huddle up, and all of a sudden America sees a yellow flag come out there.
So that's why,
know.
and
I
so
don't know.
that's the nature and that's the purpose of replay. Then you go back and you replay
But you
that.
can't replay that. You can't replay that, T.O.
So why can't you replay the game or that point of infraction based on Roger Goodell's powers, based on the rule book?
Okay, we need to get Terrell's thoughts on what is going to happen because the Rams are going to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl, whether we like it or not.
Right, I feel you.
How surprised are you that the Patriots are in this game?
Not surprised at all.
Because
Of Tom Brady. And I know everybody's talked about this, at nth degree about his superb play well into his 40s. What Tom Brady does better than any of the other quarterbacks is his decision making. When it comes down to numbers of seconds on the clock where other quarterbacks fail, he makes timely decisions and he puts the ball where his receivers can make the play.
Right.
That's what separates him from every other quarterback that's been compared to him.
how good is Julian Edelman in your eyes as a receiver?
He's great. He works well with that system.
Yeah.
You notice that a lot of guys that have played in that system, they've tried to play elsewhere, you don't hear nothing from them. So again,
David Patton, Deion Branch, Givens.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Deion Branch was the MVP of that Super
Right.
Bowl.
And
Go ahead.
it's that system that they play in. And again, Tom Brady makes these guys valuable, more valuable than, again, a lot of people speak of. And so when you think about the Chris Hogans and the other guys, again, in that locker room, yeah, they're great. But they're overshadowed because of Tom's greatness and the coaching of Belichick.
Do you think right now, because you stay in superb shape, do you think you could go play for the Patriots and be a factor?
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to hear that because I agree with that. I agree with that. No, seriously.
Honestly,
you're not kidding.
Right.
You're not-
That's with any team. Like I said, I couldn't go right now and give you 65, 75 snaps. That's.
You give him 30?
Oh yeah, I give you that. Certain down and distances. Put me in the red zone. I'm a threat.
And just remember,
I'm a threat, Skip.
they pulled this off
Skip,
without
Skip.
Josh Gordon, and he was the only semblance of any kind of deep threat they had.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I wouldn't consider him a deep threat. To me, he has flashes.
Yeah, I know.
But he's that type of player that
Have
can
you
take the
worked
top
out
off.
with Josh?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I was
No, I haven't.
thinking you were. Okay. Well, they missed the boat. They could have
There you
had
go. It's that
Terrell
easy.
Owens.
We have so much more to get to,
Yeah.
but first,
You don't want them licks anymore, T.O.
Tio, tell us
It's
quickly.
nobody plays the game to take licks. I never took a lot of licks anyway. I was dipping and dodging.
Yeah, but you were dipping and dodging at 25, 30.
I can still dip and dodge now.
I don't think any
If
of us
that one
denied
time
that.
you dodged, you should have dipped.
That's all right. Just like this play we talking about.
Tio, before we go to break, tell us quickly what you're doing with Febreze.
Oh my gosh! I mean, everybody knows. Like now, I haven't played. I'm the party planner.
Right.
Oh,
So
good.
when I have friends over, there's pizza, nachos, and so now I'm partnering up with them for the second time this year. To this odor eliminating MVP of Febreze, and so there are so many smells that come throughout the house. Yeah. So you got to have your Febreze. And if you want to go check out the commercial, it's on Febrze's YouTube channel right now.
Okay.
It just went live today.
Cool.
So again, all the files, from the bowels, Febreze will be able to remove that.
Wow, impressive. I don't deny that you throw a good party. That sounds like a good
Oh yeah,
time.
I mean that's what I like to do. I love to entertain.
Okay,
That's what
good
I like
to
to
know.
You know what you like to do?
do. Yeah, on and off the field.
We got more to get to, including the fact that you've been a little tough on Jason Garrett. You, Skip, might agree about something
we
else.
might.
I don't know. We'll discuss
Again?
next.
Y'all two girls here again?
No mercy.
Terrell Owens is with us, and he sent out this tweet after the Cowboys lost to the Rams in the playoffs. Hey, Jerry Jones, about time for a coaching change, don't you think? 2 playoff wins in 10 years. Garrett isn't the answer and never will be. Way to compete, guys. Real talk. So
I sent that.
I think that was you.
That was my account.
You got a burner
I think
account?
it was. I hope not. Either way, once you tweet those things out, you know, these guys, they don't miss it. So, Terrell, when you think about that, tweet, are you putting all the blame on Jason Garrett?
Absolutely, because, you know, a team takes on the temperament of their head coach. And I think early in the season when they were just a disaster and then they improved upon the first part of the season, I think a lot of those guys, they had pride. Anybody that has played the game, you have pride. You get tired of losing. And what that did, sadly to say, is that saved Garrett's job. That saved his job. But how can you continue to not get past the first round of the playoffs? You've had ample enough times and opportunities to get this team beyond where they've gotten. Look at, in my situation, we had a great team when I played there. And because of certain situations, with injuries or whatever the case may be, we never got over the hump with such a great team that we had. And now they have some pieces in place, and they're still kind of just island in the water.
Once again, I can't believe it, but I completely concur.
He done fired him like
I would have fired him
last 3 years.
Yeah, I fired him 17 times.
My thing is, why not make the change now? Because you extend him, you wait to the middle of the season, or you go to start of the new season, and then things don't go well, then you're going to fire him mid-season. Anyway.
You know Jerry ain't firing Jason.
What?
Jerry ain't going to fire Jason.
Well, what's going to change?
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with saying that Jason Garrett is a good coach.
At some point, something has to change. Something has to change.
Look,
when and how and where.
Jason Garrett is not bad at what he does, but this team is way better than not bad.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you.
And clearly, Jerry Jones loves Jason Garrett like a son. And Jason Garrett does whatever Jerry tells him to do, which is why their partnership works.
I like that statement.
Yeah.
He likes him like a son. Guess what? He liked Tony Romo like a son, too.
Yep.
And he had to get rid of him at some point.
Yep.
So why not?
So the rumors persist that Jerry would go get Sean Payton from New Orleans. And would I love that? I'm signing off. If you can explain to me how that's possible, you're way ahead of me, because I can't figure out the reality. Because
exactly.
He's got 2 more years under contract. You would have to trade for Sean Payton.
And you ain't got no first rounder.
You don't have one this year, but would you trade that? Because they would want
some future first rounders.
They might want 2 future first rounders.
John went for 3.
He did.
And it should be done. If there's any way that this could be worked out, I would take a stab at it. Do you not think a Sean Payton Cowboy team would do better than a Garrett?
But let me tell you the difference between Sean Payton and Jason Garrett. The final say of the final 53 is going to be Sean Payton's.
And guess what? The proof is in the pudding. His resume speaks for itself.
It was in the pudding with Jimmy. It was in the pudding with Bill Parcells. And they said we are.
Things have changed, and I'm sure.
You believe Jerry Jones has changed?
I think if the right people get in his ear to make this happen, it will happen.
I agree. And Jerry is not getting any younger, and I think he sees that he's got a shot.
There were people that got in his ear to get rid of me, and it happened.
But you're right. He got in there.
You know what? That is funny, because I always thought you were like a son to him in a lot of ways.
I did too.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Let me tell you why Jerry's not going to fire Jason. Because Jason's not the coach. Because Jerry gets to coach without taking any of the blame. You and I both know Jason Garrett is not a gambler by nature. But since when Jerry criticized him after that Texans game, what did Jason Garrett do on 4th down?
He did.
Almost all the 4th downs from that point on, he's going for it like a riverboat gambler. He's not Ron Rivera. He's not Sean Payton. He's not Sean McVay, guys that we normally see go for it on 4th down. And the fact of the matter is,
there lies the problem.
I know it.
There lies the problem.
Jerry is the problem.
No, the coach is the problem. Jerry ain't calling no plays.
He called the plays that Jerry wanted him to do.
Yeah.
You know that.
How you figure that?
Sometimes with a calculator, sometimes with scratch paper. But I come to the same conclusion that Jerry Jones is running all of the show.
Now he fires Linehan.
He did.
Every year there's a scapegoat.
Let me ask you a question.
It's not Garrett. It's always somebody.
What did Jason Garrett say? Now, Jason Garrett came out on Monday and said, my staff is coming back. Scott Linehan is coming back. Stephen Jones says, wait a minute. Jason Garrett didn't fire Scott Linehan. Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones fired Scott Linehan.
I'll buy that.
Again. Jason Garrett got no power. As Skip say, he's an emperor with no cloak.
No clothes.
No clothes.
So
he ain't got no clothes on. He butt ball like this. You know it.
So explain this one to me. So Ian Rappaport has tweeted, I think this was this morning, that now the Cowboys are in flux with Kellen Moore as the probable new offensive coordinator who used to be the backup quarterback, as you know. And John,
let's go get Tony Romo if that's the case.
Well, that's true. I think he's got a high-paid job.
Yeah, I don't know. $6 million to be in the booth and not taking it here and not meet every day.
So they brought back John Kitna to be the quarterback coach and Doug Nussmeier, and you remember he used to be Roll Tide's coordinator for 12 and 13. So he's now going to have more influence. He's the tight end coach in calling plays. But this says Jason Garrett will not be allowed to call plays. So I don't know who. Maybe they're going to trade off down.
Will
you
not.
get first down.
What are they calling the game by committee now?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah, Jerry Jones does that.
Come on.
Jerry Jones does that.
Well, he has to look himself at some point in the mirror and understands that, hey,
would Jerry be wearing a headset up in his booth?
Yeah.
Hey,
That's what we've been trying to tell you, T.O. You know Jerry running that thing. Like you said, who got you up out of there?
Exactly. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Jerry. Jerry, where's my camera? I'm disappointed in you.
Hold on. Okay, let me ask you this. How was Jason as a play caller?
At times, look, when we were 13-3, and then the year we came back and then we didn't do so well, that's because defenses, we caught everybody off guard, caught them by surprise. Then these defenses had a chance to game plan for us. As you saw at one point in the game, you saw Amari Cooper said he was frustrated. I felt this frustration because he hadn't been there that long and already knew that they were running the same old thing. And they saw in the game that they came back and won, I think there was, some eye contact with him and Dak where he came back and he was like, yo, why are we running the same play? And they adjusted that route and he ended up scoring on it. Because it's the same old thing over and over. At some point, you gotta renew. You gotta evolve with the times. You can't keep running the same thing, dude. That's why they're not winning beyond the first round. They're not going to go anywhere with a Jason Garrett coach team. I'm just telling you.
Quarterback need to get better too.
Terrell, thank you.
Quarterback
for
need to get
joining
better
us.
too.
He's good enough.
I wish we had more time to keep T.O. around. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. Thanks for making time for Undisputed. Has Boogie Cousins made the Warriors unbeatable? That's where we're going next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. The Warriors beat the Wizards last night for their 9th straight win. Boogie Cousins, he's back in the lineup. He's averaging 13 points, 7 rebounds since he returned. Shannon, how impressed have you been by Boogie so far?
I've been impressed because he seems healthy and he seems happy. He knows what's at stake here. He's trying to secure the bag, and so he knows he can't have any, Boogie Cousins moments. As long as he doesn't have any Boogie Cousins moments, he shows that he's healthy. Skip, he's going to make up himself a lot of money. But when you got Steph, his first game back, Steph goes for 28. In his second game back, Clay goes for 44 in 27 minutes. Last night, Clay gets another 38. He makes them unbeatable, but I thought they were unbeatable before they got Boogie Cousins.
I thought he was your worst nightmare because he's fitting right in. He looks like one of the guys, right?
Yes.
He's part of the flow. Do you realize they are #1 in points off assists in the NBA, and that's only getting higher and higher because they share the basketball with DeMarcus now.
Yes.
I don't see the lift that he used to have because I don't think he trusts that. But he's 6'11", 270 with great footwork, great skills, and he will share the basketball. Yeah. So all of a sudden, they look a little better than they were.
If you think he's good right now, wait until next year when he's a complete year and a half removed from that injury. Then you'll see the old Boogie Cousins.
You realize last night was the most 2-point baskets they've scored under Steve Kerr. Guess why that was? Maybe it was because he's there.
Oh, interesting.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.